This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Aaron Noir of Ragnarok, Bliven the Great of Leviathan, Shori Element of Ultros. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/Limit Break Radio.
Live from Eorzea. Limit Break Radio. With your hosts, Nero.
Now behold the horror you have wrought.
Kahlo.
I said don't take your clothes off.
Juxtaposition.
I don't get it.
Ascalia.
Holy shit, totally forgot about him.
And Mika.
Oh my god.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode number 16. No part, just episode number 16 for the first time since coming back for Final Fantasy XIV. We're here weekly. And so we have
Weekly!
You have done this, generous Patreon donors.
you only have yourselves to blame.
Yeah, way to go.
For more of us every week.
Yes, absolutely. We're so excited. We're so excited that this is the kickoff for our weekly shows. I thank you guys. Thank you. This is all because of your support at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. And it's been phenomenal. You guys have almost pushed that number up to $1,900 a month, which is unbelievable.
Insane.
Unbelievable. You guys have been so supportive, whether it's been getting Kahlo a new computer or, showing your support and bringing the show to a monthly point or a weekly point. It's truly amazing. Thank you guys for all of your hard work, for giving so generously, and we're excited to be here. So joining me, of course, we've got Kahlo Landis. How you doing?
What up?
And
Wondering what I'm going to do with my night now that we're not going to be here for 9 hours.
I know, right? Like we could actually go out and go to
Have
a
a
bar.
Sunday?
Yeah.
What do you do on Sundays?
Me and
Yeah.
Jux to have Dungeons and Dragons
Game
to
of
get back to.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I see
yeah.
how it is.
You're invited, but you hate fun, so
Yeah.
Hatred for fun is strong with this one.
Juxtaposition, how's it going?
Going great. How are you doing, Aniro Grigori?
I'm just fine.
Aniro Grigori.
Aniro Grigori.
Okay.
Aniro Grigori.
Also, Nika Kayanian joining us on Skype. How you doing, Nika?
I'm good all the way out here in the floating island.
Yes.
And today is going to be a great show because, what do you think, Ascalia Ryumasa?
No, that's probably the most insightful thing he's ever said.
I commend you.
You guys hear that?
The crickets? Why don't I have a cricket soundbite?
Actually, that would be a good one.
Yeah, it would be a
we
good
need
one.
that.
Actually, no. If you do listen very closely, what you will hear are birds. There are. You can hear a lot of birds in the show this week. Currently, I am getting the air conditioning repaired in the studio so that we don't have to swelter in a hot studio all the time when we do the show. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like a good time going into the hottest part of summer.
How hard is it to fix the air conditioner? You slap in an ice crystal and then a wind crystal to blow it through, and you should be done, right?
Yeah, you'd think it's that easy. No, they had to take significant parts out.
Thunder crystal to power it up.
Hey, guys, we kind of have a big show to do, so let's keep on track.
Yeah, okay. We do have a big show for you guys today, but before we get to that, let's kick it over to the studios. Hey, studios!
Studios?
Yeah.
Do we have more than one?
No, we just we're in.
Why is it plural?
Well, because there is more. There actually is more than one.
What do you mean there's more than one?
There's the real life studio, and then
We're not kicking it to this studio.
Yeah, we're only kicking it over to one.
To the Eorzean studio.
Hey,
Bro.
does our drinking app Kahlo have a name? Because if
Frederick.
so, I think we should name
Frederick.
it App Kahlo.
Frederick.
App Kahlo.
It's Frederick.
We named
Frederick.
it Frederick.
It's been a thing since the dawn of time.
That is canon.
Canon.
Oh.
It's not even head canon. It's real canon.
Okay, my bad.
Frederick's going to get a spot on the new intro. That's how long he's been with us.
Yeah.
How does Frederick get a spot on the intro,
He's
but
been-
Rumpcock doesn't?
He's been here.
Can we sneak
He was here,
Rumpcock?
he was here
every
long
episode.
before
Can we sneak Rumpcock in there subliminally?
Ugh.
Yeah,
That sounds-
yeah. It's the only way to slip him, man.
That sounds... ugh. Oh, God. So, yes, welcome to the show, and thank you. This is now going to be weekly here on twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio, and we hope that you'll follow. We hope even more that you'll sub, and if you like what we do, we think that you should head on over to patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. Check out our different levels of support. Give whatever is comfortable for you, and you get some cool stuff in return.
And you know what? Speaking of subs, we really need subs now if you guys want more emotes, because we got a lot of
Holy
great ones.
shit, yeah.
But we don't get any more until 250 subs.
That's a long way away.
And we're full right now, aren't we?
We are full.
You know what that means?
Okay, well,
That means you don't get a Juxta sub for another 150 subscribers.
now that does. Why does Annie get 2 emotes?
because I'm obviously the best.
No, all right, now I don't know
disagree.
about the best, but we wouldn't be able to have the show without him. As much as we don't want to admit it,
Yeah.
that much is true.
Do you really need to stroke his ego so much?
It's not so much about ego stroking.
Thank you, Colin.
Do you know how to work any of this shit?
Go touch his dick!
Besides doing drops and calls, what do you know how to do?
Yeah, what do you
If
know how to do?
a Nero took all those chords out of that soundboard, would you know where the fuck they went?
They go in all the holes. How hard can it be? I broke it easy enough.
That's always the easy part.
I think we should do a challenge day where I field strip the studio and then make
Oh my
Juxta
God.
put it back together.
Yes, Ascalia can record it. We'll time him every so many minutes. If he doesn't get something right, we like
How
whip
would
him
you
or
even
something.
be able to do that?
Fuck no, but I can admit it.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know. Look, and Nero's here for the technical aspect. I'm here for the talent aspect. I don't know
Oh
why
my
we
God.
keep Juxta around. Obviously, Nika is the girl factor.
Gotta have it.
Wait, what?
has nothing
you the
has
girl?
nothing to do with the fact that she's progressed in the game way farther than any of us have.
Okay, what's Ascalia's point?
He has a camera.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And we brought Ascalia in so that we didn't pick on Juxta so much.
oh, okay, yeah.
That's for
good
your
point.
Oh,
benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
we
you know
did
what?
that for you.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I like that.
All right. So, as we mentioned, we have a gigantic show to get through today. There has been a ton of Heavensward stuff released, talked about, dropped, hinted at in the last couple of, sussed out of interviews. Tons of stuff. So, we, in the interest of trying to get through this in an expedient fashion, we're going to try to get. We're just going to get through it.
And we're going to bring it to you in classic LBR fashion where we read it off a list.
And digress and digress.
No,
No, no.
no, that's hopefully not what we're going to do.
We're gonna wiki the shit out of it.
So it's gonna our goal is to make this show about an hour and a half long ish, and
Which, if you have any concept of LBR like history, I don't think we've ever done a show that short.
or if you know how long this outline is, you would laugh at us and be like, "You fucking!" It's been
Spoilers,
it is-
it's 28 pages.
It has been a raging internal debate on how exactly do we tackle this for our first
it has.
like it's been like we were
Can I quote Nero when he started doing this? He's like, up to 13 pages, guys. We're like, what? That's ridiculous. And we're blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, you know what? We should have had this discussion a month ago. Now we're doing it my way. 22 pages.
Keep in mind our old outlines were like 3 pages for a 30-part
That's not
episode.
true at all. That's not true
Okay,
at
5
all.
pages?
No, they were short, but what we have to realize is all of our information wasn't on them. We used
Yes.
the wiki. Nero, when he makes an outline, he copy and pastes the shit out of it.
Well, I want to make sure that all of the information is there just in case we need it. So, but we do want to thank here really quick Diamond Multimedia. This past week, they generously sent us a brand new 1080p capture card, which we're going to be doing an unboxing of and a review of on the show. Not on LBR, but on our new gaming show. But that's going to help. That's going to allow me to bring you tons and tons and tons of
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
And Qbert. That's it. That's all. That's it.
What about Clax?
I want to see a boy in his blob.
Miss Pac-Man. Yeah. So if you want to get excited about that, twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. It's gonna be all I do from now on. But no, thank you so much to Diamond Multimedia. They of course supplied us with the graphics card that runs this show, and we're super excited to try out this capture card. So look forward to that coming in the near future.
I hear that they like to do a lot of charity work. I mean, they did hire Sasky out.
Oh!
Shots fired! Oh, I love you,
That's
Sass.
me.
How's that benchmark going?
He was the one who got us that card.
I know,
Just so you know.
I know. I love Sass.
So I do want to correct a small piece of information that we got wrong on the last episode. We had said that Rie of Ghost in the Link Shell had either helped on somebody else's Scholar cosplay or like helped on their book or something, or someone someone had helped her or something. I can't remember exactly what we said, but I want to make it perfectly clear that Rie made all of her costume from FanFest. That's a really important thing to get right. It's a really important piece of information to get right.
We wouldn't want people saying that Fusion helped us on our intro.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like that.
Oh, we love you, Fusion.
So much fun.
Do we?
But we do love Rie and Ghost in the Link Shell, good friends of ours. So shout out to them. We apologize for getting that wrong, and wanted to make sure that we made that correction. So and also while we've got you listening, join us next Sunday for Limit Break Radio episode number 17.
Nutter's gonna nut.
No.
It's amazing. I want to see all of those rump cocks. I want to see a bunch of rump cocks, because why not? Rump cock.
Yeah.
Rump cock us.
We want to see a ton of rump cocks in the chat to celebrate the fact that we're going to be back next week, June 14th, at around 2 p.m.
Running of the rump cocks.
Running of the rump cocks. Let's see it, chat room. Let's do it. But thank you guys. You made this possible at patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. If you have anything to toss our way, head on over there. Let's talk about this absolutely crazy amount of info dump information that we've got about Heavensward. We're in the countdown to Heavensward. This is absolutely everything that we know to expect for the expansion. We're probably not going to get a whole lot of discussion between now and the expansion. This is likely all of the information, working information, that we're going to have to go on from now until release day, or early access, whichever, if we can even get to the servers in early access, because a lot of times can't even fucking do that. I
have faith in Square Enix.
We'll see. I mean, they've done this process once. They've already been through this once, and hopefully, they've ironed out all of the server hiccups and all of the nonsense. Man, look at all of those rumcocks. That's a fun emote, guys. That is a fun emote. Thank you, Kahlo.
You're welcome.
But now you have gonorrhea.
And if they use it in anybody else's channel, people are just gonna be like, "What the fuck is
What
that?
is this? Is this a booger? What the fuck?"
It's an interesting enough, like, green little goblin creature thing that it would be interesting to spam in other channels.
And then if someone hovers over, it's just gonna say "Rumpsy."
Yeah, we've decided that is Rumpcock's MC name.
Yeah, there was actually a time in his career.
Yeah.
Hey guys, main story quest.
Actually, you missed it. You have to talk about early access. The 19th of June.
Yeah.
Release the 23rd of June. 2-week unlock.
Actually, I'm
July 7th.
pretty sure that
4th week lock. 21st of July.
We already know all this.
We already know all of this. We're going through it. Going. You're our main story quest. Go.
Time for my birthday, the 4-week unlock.
Focus
that's
around
awesome.
the Dragon Song
The
War.
day right before my birthday. That's what I'll be doing.
There's 1,000 years of conflict between the Ishgardians and the Dravania. The Worm King versus Thoradin and his 12 knights is going to be a central part of that story.
Tiamat is one of the dragons.
Sounds
who
okay,
are
like
you know
Smaug
what?
versus the Hobbits. Am I right?
Actually,
Or the dwarfs, I mean.
does a little bit, but it doesn't help. It doesn't make anything go faster when we talk over each other, guys. Jesus.
Omega Weapon, part of the main storyline quest.
Thank you.
Run through it.
Wait, Thoradin was the first Dragoon or something, right? Is that what? who he was?
No, we'll find
Does
out.
anyone care?
First quest will be given by Hartchafont of House Four Temps, directing you to Ishtar.
So we all know where everyone is going to be logging out.
Haunch and fart. That's his name.
We don't need to trade off points. There's approximately 50 hours in length, about the same as A Realm Reborn.
It requires completion of the
Oh
entire
my
main
God.
story quest until before the Dawn patch
Hold on.
2.55.
Mute their mics, is that a thing?
You buttholes.
Wait,
Stop
we need
it.
to trade off words.
Oh my God, let's do that. Are you
Okay.
ready?
That doesn't
At
go fast
least
at all.
1
Class
at
level
50
with
and
item
level
of
92 challenge
the
steps
of
faith
trial.
Yes, that was awesome.
I'm kind of impressed by that.
So was I.
Pretty good.
I'm sort of kind of impressed.
And he was like, I ain't even mad. That's amazing.
Wow.
Also, they say that item level 110 is plenty to start doing Heavensward.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't
You
say
know
to
what's
start
plenty
doing
more?
Alexander.
130.
quit your bitching. Main storyline quests will be updated in a similar pattern to A Realm Reborn, which is great because I thought that they did a really great job keeping that storyline interesting and keeping it going. New storyline quests will be added every major patch starting from 3.1.
And they will provide the majority of your XP from 50 to 60, but there might be times you have to do side content to get the extra
It's
XP.
like the original story. Which is
yeah, and that sounds fair.
But I mean, that sounds like if you want to do a random job, like a new job in the dungeons, and then your main job in the storyline. There you go.
So there's going to be some adjustments to the Realm Reborn content aimed at making access to Heavensward content easier. I'm a little bummed out by that, but main storyline XP rewards more than doubled. That's probably fine. Main story quests give quote-unquote powerful items to make progression easier. You will be able to go from new player to Heavensward without having to do any of the side quests.
That is important.
I think it is too.
Think about how long those are and how much of them is just, all right, well, we're waiting for this to happen. Go help these guys over in Blackbrush Station do shit.
Yeah, but I mean, some of those are kind of required for level progression, though. Although if they're blowing through a lot of it
Right.
with XP bonuses and new powerful items, God, do they really need to make it easy mode already?
I don't think it's so much about making it easy mode as it is making it just not be such a time sink. I mean, imagine you buy a brand new game, you want to jump into Heavensward, and you have to spend the first 2 weeks doing a
But if
Realm
you
Reborn
think about it,
stuff.
if it's a brand new game, the whole thing's brand new to you. Like, you're not
Yeah,
going
like-
to care about jumping right into Heavensward. If
Yeah,
it's all
You
brand
haven't
new.
done the content first, so it's like enjoy.
I could see maybe
But I
depending.
feel like what they're cutting out is the extra
Superfluous
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
You're still getting like
superfluous, that's a
the
good word.
meat of the story, and you don't
Right.
want to have to sit there and have to like spam through dungeons to gear up to spam through dungeons that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess.
That's just why the next point that it does say is important, that the Duty Finder prioritizes people that are doing it for the first time, stick them together, get them through it, and then...
And that's good. I think that is an important adjustment. It's just, I don't know, it kind of bums me out. Like, when you make your old content just so easy that because like
At
then
least they're not making it irrelevant,
that
which is what WoW does. Like you don't have to do anything. If you start playing right now,
Right.
fuck Cataclysm.
well, and a lot of people
good thing.
are kind of upset that like if they wanted to play Dark Knight right out of the gate, they think that you've got to get to a certain point in the main storyline quest to be
But
able
it's
to
not
get
going to
there.
be hard to get there.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's going to take a fully leveled character 1 to 50, but people hear that and they're like, "Oh my god, that's going to take so
People
long."
always
It's really
realize this is a Final Fantasy game, which has always been about the story. Even the praise for Final Fantasy MMOs is that it has a good story, even though it's an MMO. Can you imagine jumping into Heavensward having no connection to any of these characters, no idea who they are, spoilers for the original story? Like, it's important to progress through the story.
Nika, look, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to let you finish, but we actually have an
I'm
email
serious.
that touches on this very topic that we're going to try to get to at the end of the show. We have to hurry through this, guys, as fast as we can.
So level 60 increased level cap for all disciples of war magic, the land and hand.
No limit break quests.
No
It
limit
means
break
like an
quests.
11, how you don't have to break to get from like 50 to 60.
Yeah,
There's
which
no
to
quest
go.
to do that.
Which looking back on it, that's a really poor choice of words to use. But yeah, it like there was the Genkai quest in 11. There's not going to be any of that in 14. So-
Darn.
which I don't know.
Well, actually, kind of, yeah.
Kind of a little bit, yeah. There should be some kind of quest. I mean, I'm glad that.
Well, aren't they like kind of? I mean,
I thought they are really dumb and stupid. And
It's
the
it's
Genkai
kind of
quest?
just waste your time.
Yeah, it's kind of arbitrary
The
to
only
say
one that
you could
mattered
stop.
was Matt. The rest
The
was waste.
execution was, but the idea that you have to earn that next, you know, is cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like your job quests, though?
Yeah,
Right?
they kind of are. I'm going to give you that. Yeah, for sure. I was actually going to say that I am glad that the job quests and the job specific gear, those are kind of tied to quest lines that you have to do, which are challenging quest lines. Like if it's your first time through them, they're generally pretty tough. So.
I mean, for the most part, you're going to do it right at that level, so there's not really a point in saying you can't go past that level.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're really bad, then you can just go past that level and come back to it,
Right. Everyone will get quests and skills from level 50 to 60, and new actions for Disciple of War and Magic only available via job quests, not leveling. Smart idea. Item level 130 gear will last until about level 55, and item level will increase every 2 levels. Now, the only hope that I have for the new actions, being locked out, quest locked, is that, that I hope that the quests are challenging. I hope that the battlefields are nice and tough.
They should be at this point.
Well, and they should feel reward. I don't want to go in there and fucking two-shot it. I feel like there were a lot of those. The only one that really stands out was one of the Paladin quests that was that I struggled with.
I'm most looking forward to the story of them, because the Black Mage one was my favorite.
The monk one was cool too.
Yeah, having
Monk
everyone
was terrible.
Yeah, monk
I don't care
was
about
all
shit
right.
about Alamigo.
Alamigo is
alright.
so
A bunch of
interesting.
pores in the desert. Who cares?
No,
Black Mage
I'm
was
with
way better.
I'm with Nika on this one. Alamigo is legit.
I wanna hear
pretty
more.
interesting.
I like Alamigo. I want Alamigo, but
that
I
monk
thought
guy-
that monk storyline could have been better. I think just the fact that it involved Alamigo shouldn't automatically be it was great because it had Alamigo.
Actually, the scholar one was cool because it talked about sad tonberries. I wanted to help.
Tonberries are cool. I like learning about
I
their
wanted
lore.
to give them
Pretty
hugs
cool.
and say everything will be okay.
But the problem with the monk one was we don't give a shit about this guy and his chakra and his chi that we don't even get the abilities for and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Dumb guy.
Ninja one was the best.
Ninja
Okay.
one was pretty good.
Let's move on.
It has me in there.
This is old content, guys. Old
Karasu.
content.
No,
New
Yeah,
content.
hey, shut the fuck up. Okay,
content, let's go.
so the environments. There's
You've
gonna be
been
new-
reading. I want to read. Environments. New city-state of Ishgard. No housing available on release, but they are going to be bringing out new housing wards for Limsa, Gridania, and
Does that mean they
Ulva
will
shortly
add
after
them for
3.0.
Ishgard? Eventually.
See, I was kind of wondering that if that's
It says on release. It doesn't
on
say
release.
ever.
Yeah.
Well,
just keeping
I
their
think
options
when
open.
it says no housing, I think they mean just in general, not no housing for Ishgard, because then they follow it up with they will release new wards for the 3 that we have
after
right now.
3.0.
I think they're
Yeah.
not going to have Ishgard housing at all ever.
I think that if there's enough people clamor for it, they will.
I think
how would that work
I'll tell you how it makes sense. Once you get to 4.0 and we've beaten the story and Ishgard loves us, they'll let us live there.
No, well, where on the map, unless there's somewhere in Western Korthus, where on the fucking map would you put it? Because if
The
you
Korthus lowlands.
It's another round. No, it's
Oh,
another part
son
of
of a
Ishgard. Like
bitch.
how they have the
Wait, what?
You son of a bitch!
What?
That would actually fucking work.
I missed
too,
it. What did you say?
Put them in the Korthus Central Lowlands, the zone that they skipped. That I was all upset that they
Oh,
skipped
yeah.
from 1.0
There
to
you go.
2.0.
I'm butthurt, man.
That's way
Ishgard
too. No,
isn't a
no.
caste system.
Let me
There
tell
could
you.
just be
No,
another
let me tell you why I'm
side.
butthurt, because that's way too smart and insightful for you. The fact that you thought of it is what really bothers me about this. God damn it.
He's sad and butthurt.
Lucky shot. It was a lucky guess. It was a lucky guess, Nero.
1 in a million, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Airship landing to connect
Feel better
Ulda,
about
Limsa,
myself.
and Gridania to Ishgard will be opened at a later date. Bunch of new locations: Ishgard Foundation, Ishgard the Pillars, Coerthris Western Highlands, level 50, Dravanian Forelands, Dravanian Hinterlands, the Churning Mists,
Dravanian's foreskin.
Ablanthia Sea of Clouds, level 50, the Upper Sea of Clouds intended for higher levels, the Floating Continent, apparently a zone, not an instance, and both Ishgard zones, Coerthis West and Dravanian Hinterlands, were explored in whatever PLL
Producer live letter.
21.
So there are a couple of interesting points in here. So there was some speculation that we might maybe see Coerthis Eastern in Heavensward. Definitely not happening. Unless they put a zone in, which they haven't done in an expansion, so I'm inclined to think that they're probably not going to do that. But I do think, because Alamigo is to the east of Coerthis, I think that's how it's going to go. I think when we start moving towards Alamigo and start moving towards the Empire, that then we'll
In
finally
4.0, when Alamigo comes out, we'll get the...
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be
So,
cool.
but the other thing that I wanted to point out, the floating continent, which they say apparently is a zone, not an instance. I think that this
Why not
is going back to
both?
like a Sky thing.
I hope it's an instance, or not an instance, a zone where like you can't mount up and you have like these super high level monsters that you need like an alliance to get through. Otherwise, it's just
Yes,
one shot.
because we need content to make free companies relevant.
Yes,
They
I
could
agree.
probably also use the floating continent as an instant as well, where not like the whole thing, but you have the floating continent zone, and then when you use your airship, it takes you to instanced smaller versions of
Or
it.
like
That was-
I'm thinking,
yeah, that
or
was
maybe
one
something like
idea
how
that
Sky
I-
was. Once you get certain pop items, you take them to a special place, and that takes you to an instant.
No, you take them to your airship. You take them to your private
your airship,
to
Nika.
your free
Okay,
company
to the airship.
Right? Like why else would you spend a lot of time and invest all of that money into it? Like if
Same reason you'd spend a lot of money on a house.
I know, but that's so dumb. That's so stupid to just make it cosmetic like that. If you actually tie it to content, people will feel driven to do it, and it gives it a great incentive for participation. And I think that that's really the goal, right? Like that's the goal, is to get as many people participating in as much of the content as you can. And with so much of it going by the wayside, and getting the boot, basically, like there's got to be new shit. And
Speaking
I think that's
of
a really good thing.
participation, Nika should start reading some of this outline. You're slacking.
Come on,
Hard,
Nika.
I can't see you.
Go.
Just take over.
Design for flying mounts. Go.
Okay, yeah, I guess all the zones will be designed for flying mounts, at least most of them. Zones do have a shield. When you reach max height, you cannot fly into the sun and burn forever. Sorry.
No, but I want to be Icarus.
Though it says there will be 2 level 50 zones to split up players and not cause issues like overlag.
Want to be Icarus.
Certain landmarks from 1.0 will reappear, like the Falcon's Nest and Camp Rivers Meet.
Nobody cares.
No, I do. Falcon's
No,
Nest.
people do care
I
if you
went
play
to Falcon's Nest.
Nobody important cares.
I went to fucking.
I can
You know
honestly
what?
say I don't remember what that place was.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I ever went to Falcon's Nest. I went to Owl's Nest. That was as far as I had made it into
And what
Corthus.
was it?
It was nothing. It was like
a oh wow, so important
It was
that
like
they
it was-
have
it was a tower.
Falcon's Nest.
No,
wow,
no,
wow. Be butthurt.
These maps are going to be 50 to 100% larger than a Realm Reborn's. You're too slow, Nika. Maps will have fates. They'll have large fates like Behemoth and Odin, and dynamic fates like Red Belly.
Dynamis.
Dynamic fates. Wow.
Wow.
Because Juxta has never stumbled over his words before. Let's have you read an email later, and we'll make fun of you as you stumble over them. Dynamic fates like
let's do that.
like
That's a
the
good
Red
idea.
Belly Hive Chain and Stealth Shroud. Also, there will be Child Makote, Hyors, and Elizins.
Oh, that's cool. I guess.
You will not see children Lalafell because they look the same as adults. And,
They just grow on the ground anyway.
and obviously you won't see Rogadin children because they're just born that way too. And wild chocobos that can be killed will appear.
No, what?
Yes.
I think here's what we should start doing when this happens, guys.
Why did I not
Start-
know that until now?
Start making videos randomly of you killing chocobos, and then we'll just start posting them on Nika's Facebook. Just randomly. We'll have to start finding clever ways to disguise them.
I'm going to try to never kill a chocobo.
Murder
Let's
all
see if I
chocobos.
can do it.
Quest number 1: murder this chocobo for chicken.
I sincerely hope that they drop some sort of meat that you can then like cook as a culinarian.
And then we can just start mailing them to her. Yes!
Yes,
Awesome.
this is a great idea. So, yeah, that's
And for my friends list.
Speaking
Lots.
of chocobos, flying mounts, all mounts have increased movement speed. The first flying mount will be obtained via the main storyline quest. Only usable in Heavensward maps. Fly speed is at 200% and their walk speed is at 90%. Movement speeds may be adjusted. Flying a Realm Reborn mounts won't be able to fly at release, but will be updated at later dates. The Eyeball, the Bombs, the ADS, and Primal Horses, Kieran, and Gubu.
Everyone wants the Gubu to fly. That makes no sense. I hope they... Can you just imagine... Like, how is the Gubu even going to fly? Flap its arms? That looks stupid.
How does a fat chocobo fly?
Maybe it has a way of producing helium in its stomach that makes it lets it
It just
float.
sneezes
Like,
up.
you just imagine being on this huge flying dragon and a Gubu just, like, floats by you.
I wanted to grow
Stupid.
a propeller. That's what I want.
Just a giant vine propeller.
Yes. That would be amazing. So personal chocobos will be able to fly after completing a quest. You must attune to wind currents in a zone to be able to use them in that zone, and some can be found during questing. Others can be found just in the zone. So there's going to be a bunch of flying mounts available, including the personal chocobo, legacy chocobo, dragon number 1 and 2, black chocobo, single rider airships, griffin, fat chocobo, more flying mounts coming soon. A 2-rider flying chocobo, and a Vanu and Nath beast tribe mounts will be in the future. They're obviously not talking about it because we haven't seen the zone, so it's not obvious what it's going to be yet. You cannot dismount during flying, which is so disappointing, because that was legit the best part of Grand Theft Auto 4, was taking the helicopter as far as you possibly could and then just getting out and then just falling forever.
But I'd assume there are some places you're flying over that don't have ground beneath you.
Trying to dismount will make your character beeline towards the closest piece of land to dismount. What's most sad about this is that you can't eventually have your two rider mount and then just drop your person out.
That would be awesome. So the Ora are coming. Of course, all
Yay!
No!
Ora!
Shut up!
The little bandana for creating a Ora for the contest. I saw that.
I got it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Square Enix approves.
Square Enix, stop encouraging him.
Square Enix approves.
We haven't sent him to camp yet. You can't reinforce
Well, we've only
him
got
like
2
this.
weeks to do it.
I know.
You're not going to do it. I'm not going to go.
Guys,
No, you're going.
Guys, sending him to a camp is like sending the dog upstate to that beautiful farm with the fields where you can frolic with other Mikote.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to frolic. We're going to talk about being Aura together.
What if it's fuck camp? Like
What?
What if you're there to just bone all the time, and wouldn't that be awesome?
Well,
it's his penis and he can do whatever he wants with it.
would you want to leave if you got there and it's like a Mikote fuck camp?
Yeah.
Would you
That'd be
still want
pretty
to?
sweet.
Would you still want to leave and turn into an aura?
Yeah.
Why couldn't?
We
But
can-
an Aura can still fuck.
okay, well, hold on. If this is like an Aura,
We
like,
have way more- we have way more-
rehabilitation camp.
No. We said it was Mikote identity reinforcement. So
Okay, so there's gonna be other people like me there, so we'll just fuck there, and then we'll get back to Heavensward. We'll all become all rot together, and we'll still be fucking.
Eat it, dick.
I win.
All
a lot of time into
headpieces for
thinking
the
about
aura since 2.2 have been made with the horns in mind. Gear before that will be made to fit aura. Limble rings can be enabled, disabled, and color changed at the assistant.
Yeah.
As long as you own Heavensward, you can make an aura. There's no restrictions.
So there you go. You have to own it, though. So let's talk. There's been a lot of talk about the new jobs and all of their abilities. Let's try to bottom line these as much as possible. Juxta, you seem to be most excited about Astra Logan.
Astro Logan.
Yeah.
It is Astro Logan. He is the Astral Wolverine.
Yes.
Healing class, no base class, starts at level 30. Class has card mechanics. You draw a card. It's on a 30-second cooldown, and you can use Royal Reload to return the card you draw back to the deck and improve the next one you draw. You can also set aside a card you draw for later use and then draw another one. Or you can shuffle the card back into your deck and hope for a better one.
It's kind of like an advanced Corsair.
Yeah, that's sort of what it sounds like.
Which sounds really, really fun. The certain card effects, we have increased attack speed with a bonus when it gets Royal Reloaded. Increased attack damage, and it gets better when you Royal Road. There's
Royal Road?
Royal Road. No, that's what it is, Royal Road.
Yeah, he was saying it wrong before.
Yeah. Get good.
He tried to switch and thought that no one would notice.
I feel like Royal Reload sounds better.
Yeah, that's what I thought at first.
But it's cool.
There's also NP cost reduction, which has the duration increased when Royal Roaded, and a TP cost reduction when Royal Roaded.
That just sounds so stupid.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I think it's safe to say every move increases when it's Royal Road.
Well, no.
Kyle, it's like, yeah, I gave her the Royal Road last night.
She got roaded last night.
Yeah, the Royal Road.
Royally. Now, the thing is with the MP cost reduction, I bet that would help Dark Knights a lot because they can't regenerate MP.
Okay, yeah, no one cares about that. We have to hurry up and just...
No. He was making a good point. No, he was making a good
Nero,
point.
you said yourself, we have to hurry up and get through
But
this,
he was
okay?
making a good point about Dark Knight and how
synergy.
astrologians will be very...
Synergize.
Yeah, they'll be very good in parties together.
They can't get MP regened from machinists or bards.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Something to keep in mind.
Maybe this
So
won't work
Astrologian
either.
was made with Dark Knight in mind.
Yeah, and there's also a 20% skill cooldown reduction.
Like hate.
That I like a lot.
But the thing when you Royal Road this, it only becomes 10%, becomes AoE instead.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, it's not.
I mean, I don't know.
I feel like
That means your whole party instead of just one person.
It kind of. I think it kind of depends on what your party makeup is.
Yeah, so
I think an 8-person party would be more effective.
yes, versus like
If you're in a light party, you could probably do like depending on what the cooldown is, you could probably just do the 2 DDs and
Yeah, exactly.
and that'll make a really noticeable difference.
and then the last one is reduced damage taken. 10% normally, but 5% when AoE Royal Roaded.
Oh, okay.
And this one was like, people thought there was like a bad card, like a fail you could get, and it was this one, but with a damage increase taken, but it was just mistranslated.
Oh, well, that's fine.
And there's going to be 2 healing stances, Diurnal Sect and Nocturnal Sect. Diurnal adds regen to some heals, and Nocturnal adds shields to some heals, and you cannot switch your sects in combat.
Otherwise, it would make it way too OP.
Get good.
But you can switch in between fights, like if you're in a dungeon. So if you know what's coming, you know what to prepare for. That's cool.
Exactly. They're going to have regular healing skills available. You're going to have your basic cure, which can proc into an instant cast, basically Cure 2. Adds a whatever that. And then there's your Cure 2, basically. They have
You're like oh shit button, emergency heal
Yeah,
with
your
instant
big
cast,
heal.
like Benny.
And then they have Dignity, which is your emergency...
I just said that.
Okay.
You didn't say the name, Nika.
Yeah, get good. And then they have Helios, Medica style, Wheel of Fate, which is a bubble on the caster, Regen and Diurnal, and incoming damage reduction and Nocturnal Sect. And they have Asuna Leeches, and they have Arrays. They have
Ascend.
That makes sense. Yeah, standard stuff.
Standard heal stuff plus the cool stances and cards. That's a lot.
Yeah.
well,
I mean, So what's your overall view of the? I mean, to me, it sounds like Corsair, but for a healer.
Yeah, it sounds like really like you have to have intimate knowledge with all the other classes because skill speed, the cooldown reduction might not be so good for something like Ninja that doesn't have a lot of cooldowns, but it would be really good for Bard, which is all cooldowns.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah.
So. It does have some damage spells though, like Gravity and some other single target ones that it hasn't named for us, and it has a dot. So it could. I mean, it doesn't say anything about stances specifically for damage, or if you need clerik stance to do it.
Well, you can class Conjurer skills.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a standard at this point.
And Juxta, you have a lot of experience outside of the Final Fantasy MMOs. So I feel like, when we say Corsair, not everyone has an idea of how Corsair operates. How would you describe this in your WoW terms?
I don't think it has a WoW analog because no WoW class really is all about buffing.
Okay.
Like
interesting. That's an interesting... Okay.
Yeah, it's like something they take from other Final Fantasies where, like, a buffing job is, like, a role that you want, and they can't really add just a buffing role.
That's true, yeah, because you've got to maintain the Trinity.
Combine it with the healer, which I feel like might be kind of overpowered because the other classes don't have such buffing skills, so I'm going to guess that this is actually going to really limit our ability to do damage, like, in raid settings.
That's true.
So the buffs will have to make up for it.
Okay, interesting.
They're also going to have Celestial Stasis, which is from Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a level 60 spell. It's like stop time magic. It's still going under adjustments even this late in the game, and it is visually similar to Celestial Stasis from Final Fantasy Tactics, but with a different combat effect.
Very curious to what that's going to do.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
They said it was super OP.
Yeah. So
yeah.
To be honest,
like a 2-hour.
Yeah, exactly. Like they said, people were like assuming that it was going to be like the healer limit break for Astro Logan, but it's not apparently.
Okay, Kahlo, why don't you...
Machinist is going to be a ranged DPS class. Guild will obviously be located in Ishgard. Like the others, no base class, just level 30. It uses guns and turrets. Now, from what I understand, you are able to put attachments on your gun to ultra effects. This will increase TP costs. Some examples was the gauze barrel boosts damage, but attacks have to be charged, removes auto attacks. You also have various turrets that are available. They are instant cast, immune to damage, and they automatically target your target. They have short cooldown. Some examples is the auto turret Rook, single target Gatling gun. The auto turret Bishop, which is AoE based lightning, can be modified to regen party MP or regen party TP.
Like a bard.
Yep. So a lot of the when I hear this, basically what I see is pup from 11, but instead of your puppet that you're putting these attachments on, you're putting them on your weapon, your gun. And the turrets seem to be very similar to shamans, totems from WoW, or I guess geomancers from FF11, but I wasn't really around long enough to really see how those work.
I've been playing FF11 for the last month, and I still don't know how geomancer works.
They also have an unnamed skill that modifies the bishop turret to its other forms, which makes me feel like you can only have one turret out at a time, and you switch it back and forth between. Turret recovery, which removes it from the field. Ammunition is unlimited and not needed to purchase with Gil. Basically, when they say ammunition, that's more of a resource than it is an actual item that you need.
It's like equivalent to stacks from Warrior.
Right, yep,
yeah.
So using your reload and quick reload skills will give you back 5 stacks of ammunition or 1 stack of ammunition, respectively. Unnamed skill that does high damage can only be used with a gauze barrel. Weapon skill combos, using each part gives a 50% chance to buff the next part, but using ammunition along with it will make this 100%. Then they get stuff like Wildfire, charge damage and attack at once, spread shot, AoE. They have a timed bomb shot, which is heavy damage. They can throw a grenade. Something that guarantees next hit will be critical, increases damage dealt, reduces recast timers, a dot, and a bunch of debuffing skills, which includes...
They have a lot of debuff.
Yeah, which includes a stun, physical damage reduction, magic damage reduction, a slow, which costs 1 ammunition, and various other unnamed skills, such as heavy bind, knockback, silence.
No, but if they're putting things on like heavy and slow, are they going to make it actually stick on bosses? Because I feel like half the shit that does that now, it just resists all the time.
It isn't all about bosses, Nika. People can do stuff outside of it.
No, with
elitist.
How easy you just beat shit down, though? Like, putting heavy or slow on a trash mob is
What
such
about
a
on
waste
floating
of ammunition.
continent?
Yeah,
what about floating continent? Nika, what about the floating continent?
We don't know for sure.
That's
you don't
right.
know for sure.
You don't know for
You
sure.
have to fight like a boss type thing to get a pop item on floating continent. It's probably going to resist knockback and silence.
But getting to that boss, yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, I mean, we'll see. I hope they do
share
it right.
recast timers.
I'm hoping.
It is similar to Bard. Free movement. Oh my god, guys. So Bard is getting this hole. You have to stand still, do more damage. I hope Machinist doesn't have anything like that.
No, they just said it to stop there. It's let's see, what was that? Oh, fuck.
But was that just one move? Because it will be so amazing if Juxta is on his Bard, having to stand still, and I'm just running circles around him as I'm doing the Machinist rotation.
No. Well, I mean, you'll be able to do that anyway. But it says Gauss Barrel, boost damage, but attacks have to be charged, moves auto attack. So it's the same thing as Wanderer's Minuet.
Cross-class with Arcanist and Lancer. Faint, Keen Flurry, Invigorate, Blood for Blood. Raging Strikes, Hawkeye's, Quelling Strikes. And obviously everyone knows it's based on Mustadio from Final Fantasy Tactics. And Unknown Gifts, Grenade, or Time Bomb.
Well, they can't see that.
Huh.
You didn't need to
I don't
say
know what that means. Well, why is it on the
It means there's pictures
the thing,
of a
then?
move that we don't know what it is, but it looks cool. And people are speculating
we can
about
skip
it.
this next part.
No, shut up.
All right, so Nika, do you want to take this next part?
No, Dark Knight. Finally, I get to talk about this because you guys, Juxta and Kahlo, so wonderfully covered a lot of this
You're welcome.
limit-breaking news.
Okay, I'm going to take off my pants.
There's no break. There's no breaks. We don't do breaks
I
anymore.
mean, we don't need to be sitting here while you masturbate over the Dark Knight stuff, okay?
Okay, I'll put my penis away. Will that make you feel more
It
comfortable?
would make me feel a little bit more comfortable,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So, Dark Knight, of course, no base class, starts at 30, uses 2-hand great swords, uses Dark Magic. Dark Magic will consume only MP and not consume any HP.
Lame.
Moves like Grit is their tank stance, reduces incoming damage by 20%, also gives an enmity buff, reduces outgoing damage, and
like
increased
Shield
accuracy.
That
Shield
last part right there must be a misinterpretation.
You're funny.
Decreased accuracy.
No,
right?
no. You're funny. But yeah, I mean, basically, it's like Defiance.
Exactly what Shield Oath does.
Yeah, it's your tank stance.
Wow, way to be original, dick.
Well, and I think
It's
we
a
can.
tank.
Well, we can have a discussion about this once we get to the other side of jobs. But I do think that all of the tank roles are kind of being mushed together and being made to be more similar.
Warriors are different from paladins. Why can't Dark Knights?
Well, not after the expansion. So Dark Side is a DPS increase and slowly it will deplete your MP, unable to receive any MP restoration from party members, and also weapon skills will restore MP. Learned at level 30 and can be used at the same time as Grit. Living Dead. Initial duration is 10 seconds. If Dark Knight drops to 1 HP, he doesn't die but receives zombie status. It's basically your home gang for Dark Knight, but you get this zombie status. You can't die during zombie, and zombie will be removed if the healer if healed to full health. But zombie will kill the Dark Knight after 10 seconds.
That's actually kind of cool. So if you don't get healed to full health, you die.
Yes.
Now, I have a question. Is this... when I first heard about Living Dead, it sounded like a passive ability where if you get hit for all your damage...
No.
It's not, so you have to click
I think it's a home gang.
Yeah, okay. It says initial duration of 10 seconds. So if you think you're going to die in the next 10 seconds, you hit it, you become undead, and as long as you get healed to full... You won't die. 10 seconds.
Okay, because when I first read it, they made it sound like it was like a shield that automatically.
No. But the zombie status is what really makes it unique from Home Gang and kind of puts a little bit of an extra.
How
kick
long
in
is
the
Home
dick.
Gang?
Good question.
It's only like 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's not very long. It's not. I want to say it's maybe 5 seconds because it roots you in place.
Okay. Isn't like Paladin Invincible or Hollow Ground 15, 20 seconds?
I don't know. Nika, how long is...
I want to say it's 15, but I can't remember.
How can you not remember?
I just remember it's enough to last me through Akmorn.
That's your main.
That is your main. I don't know how long
Juxta.
Akmorn, okay?
Juxta. Not numbers. Give me actual names for using Hutan.
For using Hutan?
The mudras. Yep.
Oh. Wait, what do you mean?
I don't want 1, 2, 3. What are they?
Like the actual mudra things?
Yeah, the name of the mudras.
Left, right, up on my hotbar.
Exactly. See, you don't know.
Yeah.
It is your main, and you don't know.
I know what the buffs are. I know it's Rayton, Suiton, Katan. Katan.
But you don't know the actual names of the mudras.
Oh, but you can't pronounce them, so therefore it makes it invalid.
You know what? Let's move on. We're getting off track.
Dark arts. Using dark arts increases the effect of other actions, and using 3 dark arts in successions will result in having 0 MP.
Oh, that is really quick.
Yeah, there is...
now, hold on. So, are you using grit and that... So, dark...
Weapon skills will restore your MP.
So, is there dark arts... reduces your MP, and does something else reduce your MP as well?
Well, I think basically what this say, dark arts increases
your DPS stance.
Oh,
your DPS stance. So it's not a factor, not as big a factor in tanking. Dark arts is, but DPS stance isn't. So there are 3 combos: your enmity combo, your damage only, and then applies the debuff to enemy, which is really standard. Again,
which Paladin is getting also.
Yeah, so all tanks will have those. Soul Eater gains HP restoration when used with dark arts. Okay, that's okay. Sure, why not? That's not what Soul Eater is supposed to do, but okay.
Maybe you get more.
Sound a little butthurt there.
I think you're eating the souls of other people, not your own.
Okay, sure. I don't know. It made more sense the other way to me. Plunge cut, which I keep reading
great
wrong.
Name.
I keep reading it wrong as plunge cat, and I don't know why. It's an A to me. It keeps. But yeah,
cut my
plunge
heart
cut
into pieces. This is my plunge cat.
Put a picture of Fritz on there and just in the toilet with a plunger or something.
He's trying to push him down with the plunger.
It's the gap closer skill. There's also Shadow Wall, which is a defensive buff. Abyss Drain gains HP restoration when used with Dark Arts. Dark Mind defense buff. So there's a bunch of defense cooldowns. And let's see.
Unleashed is your flash.
Yeah, basically. And a bunch of other unnamed skills. There's a stun in there. Buff placed on an ally if they
keep up with other tanks. It needs that.
The one that I like is a buff it's an unnamed skill where if a buff is placed on, you place a buff on an ally, if they die, you get 20% of their HP and MP restored.
That would be really good to use on me or Juxta when we do raids, like looking for raids and we just don't pay attention.
Yeah, when you guys are fucking around,
that they're gonna die.
I'm gonna unnamed skill you guys.
I feel like that's not a very good skill, though. I mean, like, I don't know. If
they get aggro and you know they're going to die.
In a perfect world, you're right. It's not a very good skill, but we don't live in a perfect world.
Yeah, we live in a world of dragoons, and I can always place it on a dragoon.
But even then, shouldn't you already be pretty close to full HP? Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's that great. Like, even if they die, okay, good, you're dead.
But it's HP and MP. The MP, I think, is going to be a bit more. It's going to be a bit more clutch.
For some reason, I was reading it like if you were at 100, you get 20% more. I guess that's not what it says.
It cross-classes with Marauder and Gladiator, Foresight, Skull Sunder, Fracture, Bloodbath, Mercy Stroke.
Move on.
Convalescence, Provoke,
Why
Awareness.
Would you ever cross-class Savage Blade?
And no one
Skull Sunder.
No one.
Your level 3 limit break is so cool.
Ruinous Omen, which is the Diabolos move, the one that you got to dodge with the doors, or you just.
But it's still defensive. So
it makes the doors.
Yes,
it makes the doors.
Let's see. An example of a main tank pull on Dark Knight would be activate Darkness, activate Grit, use range magic attack, plunge cut, and then into enmity combos while using Dark Arts. So a good rotation will never use all of a Dark Knight's MP, and it's based on Cecil from FF4. So that's pretty much Dark Knight. I feel like we don't need to go through all of the new skills. There's only one new skill that we really need to go through, which is White Mage's Ass Eyes.
I need to go through that all day.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, guys, come on. Let's be fair.
I think getting a dot
Let's be fair. By the time Heavensward actually releases it, I'm sure Yoship will have just reduced it anyway.
I see what you did there. You're referencing that really retarded official forums post. Yeah, I get it.
Hello, kiddies.
Yes, thank you for
Actually,
being...
the most important thing about all these are that Dragoons are now the most praised and loved by everyone, and Dragoon gets everything, and it's now great.
I don't think that's
not even a thing.
No. Paladin is being made to be more like every other tank.
Getting a lot of cool like AoE heal
and offensive capabilities. And okay, good, great. You guys get to come to the table when doing 250 DPS. That's nice. Warrior is getting some more DPS abilities.
Wait, we're not going to go through all these?
No, we're really not.
Why not?
We just got to bottom line them because we really got to move through them.
We got to talk about Ninja though.
We will talk. Yes, we'll spend a minute talking.
Wait, Nika, I guess that needs to talk about something. Nika, what do you want to talk about?
Oh my god,
pick something.
Oh my god.
No, I'm good. I already said that Paladin's
Thank you.
Cool. We're done. That's cool. Keep going.
Okay, so we're going to keep going.
Recovering MP when you shield block is cool.
Nope, you're done. Get out of here.
I'm done.
I gave you a shot and you blew it. You blew it.
All right, so what's the bottom line for Warrior, Nero?
I mean, Defiance getting an accuracy buff, Raw Intuition, the thing from the front.
They're actually getting a DPS stance.
Yeah, they're getting a DPS stance.
All right.
That's
good
fine.
for you, I guess.
I mean, it's great, whatever. You do more DPS. I'm checked out. I'm totally checked out of Warrior.
Whatever, we don't care.
All right, so Dragoon. Square Enix wants us to think they're cool, but spoilers, they're still Dragoons.
Yeah.
Don't they get like a buff now that they give everyone?
I don't care.
I think they do.
Monks can't they now use their Greased Lightning to do extra stuff?
They get a Kamehameha. That's really the only
They're
thing.
using
That's
chakra
all.
like how kind of like Boost in 11, how you like chakra up stacks and then you explode it into.
And then it's and then you turn into Super Saiyan 4 Goku,
which is cool. It can either be TP restore or damage.
All right, Ninja. So first of all, the cool things that me and Jack's looking forward to: Crossed Shadow and Smoke Ball.
Fuck yes, I love this.
Cross Shadow
like
transfers a large potion of the ninja's enmity to the target. We get to pick who we put it on. Yeah. Smoke Ball reduces the target's enmity.
Isn't that great?
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
Whoever is healing us,
it's so fucked. It's so fucked.
They're gonna get cross shadowed twice, and then Aniro's enmity goes out the window.
It's gonna be
that
so
healer
great.
is so fucked.
Oh my god. I have to fan myself. This
Hold
is
on.
too much.
I need a napkin. I'm sorry, Nero. It's dirty over here.
No, I mean,
It's gonna be so good.
Never Never make a static with
Oh
these
my
guys,
gosh.
and never.
Okay.
It's already so bad. Like this. Let me tell you.
Yeah, right,
Let me
go,
tell you
guys,
something.
I'm drooling over here.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This asshole came fucking conjurer to one of our Crystal Tower runs.
but here's the thing.
So
No.
he could wait. So he could fucking provoke bosses. Oh, that was the entire reason. Entire reason.
But wait, that's not even the kicker.
Fucking asshole.
The kicker is he was the best healer in the fucking raid.
That's the sad truth of it. Is that it
Silent
is
was
true.
better than me.
Okay, but our group with a conjurer
yeah.
was way better. Oh my god, it was something else.
Fucking Party B. What the hell? God damn it. I'm still mad at that Party B.
Oh, all right. We'll be able to extend Huton. Cool. 3-part illusion, which is a 3-stage physical attack. That sounds like it could be cool. And 2-for-1 enhancing weapon skill damage.
Now, the other thing that is going to be coming along with Ninja that I know... Shut up. That you guys are so... I can
We didn't sign up for this.
hear the butt hurt.
We did not
Okay,
sign
all
up
right.
for positionals.
Is the positionals.
Listen, yes, we're butthurt, but let me explain something to you, okay? Let me just throw this out there.
Explain away.
Okay? Now,
Butthurt, man.
Yeah, I know.
not just in this game, but in a lot of games, something that, and usually with due justice, people are concerned about is the homogenization of classes. Oh, these things all do the same, blah, 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 blah. I mean, right now, you're talking about with tanks, they're trying to make all the tanks the same.
Bard
Now,
and Machinists are the same.
in the most general sense, tanks are the same because they're tanks. Same with DPS. We do damage, okay? But the way that you're supposed to make these things different from each other isn't necessarily in the abilities and the skills that they have, but in the way that they operate, okay? Playing a ninja, playing a monk, playing a dragoon, they're all going to have the same skills because they're fucking DDs, but they should feel different. Monk has to keep up grease lightning
chi.
and positionals, okay? And chi. The thing with ninjas was the mudras. That took skill getting those right. And people say, well, all you do is keep up Huton. You need positionals. They fixed the Huton thing. Instead of giving us positionals, which I think is a cop-out for trying to make us more unique, which obviously isn't unique, but to try to give us more of a skill-based thing, rework the mudras, because that was genius. Up until now, we hadn't seen anything like the mudras before. Work on making the jobs play different, but to the same effect.
Now, it's an interesting point because we don't see anywhere in here the mention of new mudras or any changes to mudras at all.
Just the Huton thing.
And the addition of positionals. Now, I don't think that it's worth getting upset about because I don't think they're going to be hard positionals like the way that the way that Dragoon used to be, where if you didn't hit Heavy Lance from the side, the buff didn't get put on. And now it doesn't matter where you hit from. It's just you have an increased chance of damage if you hit that positional.
And if it's something like most of them are behind, so it's just keeping us in one solid place instead of jumping all over the fucking place, I can live with that. But if I'm going to have to try and focus on doing all of my shit while going left, back, forward, I'm just going to switch to Machinist.
It does add more pattern into it, and I've said that, I've mentioned this before on the stream, where I have a really unique issue with FF14 that I don't get with other MMOs, where if I'm playing for a while, I tend to like zone out, like almost like space out and get. Like I start to nod off and get really tired.
Yeah,
and I think
especially on easy content,
and especially on content that you don't really have to use a whole lot of alertness for. And it's made me no, I'm not alone. A lot of other people, when I ask the chat, they're like, "Oh, that's absolutely, I absolutely experience the same thing." And I have to wonder if it's just all of the pattern repetition over and over and over again. If that's not somehow, I don't know. I've almost called it like a sort of hypnotism.
Kind of, it lulls you to sleep.
Yeah, it sort of does.
Especially as a tank, where you just like it's not. You guys joke about it, but 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, right? 1 2
it's a bit more.
That's your rotation essentially,
right?
I mean, especially on something that's
tanks
on
low
farm.
levels too.
Tanks have no positionals. We just have dodging. We only have floor mechanics to dodge.
We can't have positionals.
No, we can't have positionals. That's the thing.
But with something like Dark Arts, where you have to pick and choose where you want to put this increased effect without using too many in a row to zap away all of your MP, that might be something that it adds a little bit of spice to it for you.
That's true. I don't know that adding positionals to Ninja is necessarily like. Would you be upset if they added a damage bonus if you followed the positional? You're not getting damage taken away from you if you don't do the positional.
It depends on how much it's requiring us to move around.
No, in this game, it's about highest DPS or no DPS. Like, if you're not doing the best DPS you can possibly do, then you're sucking. So there's going to be no party. I did an
Aurum Veil with Samus. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, there's going to be no party you join where it's like, well, you're doing the okay DPS because you're getting what you're supposed to be getting, but you're not doing the extra damage, but that's okay.
Unless you're just running regular-ass content, and then it just doesn't fucking matter.
Well, it doesn't. Even on Monk, I don't really do as many positionals on the trash mobs. Who fucking cares?
Well, it's just I don't know. The fucking guild work, the fucking assholes get all up on my shit because they're like, "Oh, we watched you do a Crystal Tower and your rotation sucks." I'm like,
"It's Crystal Tower.
I'm doing Crystal Tower, you dumb shit." Of course my rotate. I'm barely paying attention.
Do they realize that I auto attack in Crystal Tower?
You take your dick out and you just helicopter it up all over the keyboard. That's how you do Crystal Tower.
That's how you do it normally. On the stream, you can't really do it that way.
But Nika has a point when it comes to if there is a way to do the most damage, that's what you have to do. I had a discussion with people about mudras and what I think mudras should be on the stream once, where if they redid the mudras, I wouldn't want there to be any DPS increasing ninjutsu in there, because whichever one does the most damage,
that's the one you always have to go with.
That's the one you're going to be expected to do.
Yeah,
and I think a cool way around that is they should give you a damage bonus for using mudras out of sync. So for example, let's say that they make Rayton is the highest damage one. So that's what everybody would always use. But if you actually mix them up and do like Rayton and you throw up Huton and you're actually like staggering them, every time that you cast a different ninjutsu,
you get like a little buff or something.
It ticks up, right? And the first time that you repeat a ninjutsu, it wipes it. That way, it actually promotes you to be casting multiple ninjutsus.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, maybe, but there's only like 3 that even do damage. The rest are buffs.
And it reminds me a little bit of Dancer, though, like the way that Dancer.
That would obviously be part of reworking it too. Is they would want to put additional ones in there that you would want to.
That's what.
Yeah. No, I think that would have been a solid.
Yeah, and they don't all have to be damages. They could apply like slashing debuffs, or they could any kinds of something. Yeah, they could some type of a smaller healing buff or something. Just whatever. Yeah.
So a Bard, Juxta.
Bottom line at Juxta.
Basically, Bard becomes a black mage because they have a damage buff, and if you're not doing max damage, you suck. So to do max damage, you have to be not moving and not auto attacking with the Wanderer's Minuet.
So they're even giving you a DPS limit break.
Juxta, how does that make you? Both of your jobs.
Yeah, this is really
both of your jobs are getting.
I played the easiest jobs in the game, and what do? They make it harder. What the fuck, Square Enix?
Whoa, hold on. Let me get this straight. You're upset that they're making your job more difficult?
Yeah.
And yet you don't have any, sympathy for a Nero who's going to have to go through the entire website and remake all your fucking character models?
Yeah.
You're Square Enix.
What?
You're changing to an aura? That is you being Square Enix and messing up Ninja and Bard.
Square Enix did.
I don't see any correlation with that. You're just making shit up. I don't know. They also get a thing that increases the duration of any dots on them, and they also get a thing which makes your dots hit harder.
K.
So this is Bard is like the one job that doesn't really have a true rotation, and it's all about like a priority system. So it's interesting, I guess. Black mages, they get rooted more.
Limit break. Yeah, I'm fine with that because we stay sitting still already. So if we can now do more damage doing that, fine.
Why not?
Throw up Raging Strikes, throw up all of our buffs, throw down these ley lines, which now gives us 15% haste, and then start using Enochian so we can Fire 4 and Blizzard 4 as well.
It sounds like they're getting really, really complicated
now. Fucking go. Just go to town. No, it's basically just like, all right, Black Mages, we're going to do a thing now where every once in a while you just get to unload all of your shit all at once and be fucking...
But let's be real. All you're really going to be doing, scathe.
When we're kiting.
When you move.
What's really going to suck is when you drop all this stuff and then some big AoE happens, and you have
then
to
Titan lands.
like no. What this is gonna bring back is the black mage just dying from doing insane damage because it's like, nope, I put down my ley lines. I'm not fucking moving.
Fuck that.
Nope, I got
Eating
30 more seconds of this shit. I am eating that bitch.
Healer's gonna heal.
So at that point, you're gonna want to put unnamed skill on the black mage.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Who's the bottom line summoner for us?
Summoner, nobody cares. Moving on.
yeah, we're done.
Nobody cares about Summoner.
They get-
okay, Summoners, you will
Summoner
be able to
gets Akmorn.
Yeah, that's really it. You get Akmorn.
You can glamour your summons at some point.
And
that's all you get.
Try Disaster does something different now.
Nobody cares. Let's
Nobody
move on.
cares, yeah.
Moving on. Scholar, the real Arcanist job. I don't give a shit. They get stuff.
AoE heal that uses Ether
There's
Flow.
nothing on there that's...
It has, an add low and eye for an eye, like within range of effect, changes.
Scholar is the healer that wants to do
damage. It just kind of buffs your heals a little bit, and you can also eat your fairy for extra healing potency.
No, you
That's pretty
explode
cool.
your fairy.
Eat them.
You tell your fairy to explode, and
rain.
that son of a bitch does it. He's a trooper. Salute to you, Eos.
Oh, it's like Chaozu and DBZ. So White Mage.
Ass size.
White Mage gets to be more White Magey and gets ass size.
AoE heals and regens and more dots.
They just get to be more White Magey. That's it.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yay.
Yeah, they're the one job when we were going through limit breaking news that I feel that they're the one job that isn't really getting something that changes them up. They're just getting more of what they already do.
Yeah. No, I completely
You get
agree.
better at healing.
Shell is going to become part of Protect now.
Yeah,
rather than a skill that only white mages have, or trait, I mean.
So now everyone gets pro shell. Yay.
If you have a White Mage.
No. Everyone gets...
everyone?
Everyone does.
It says Pro Shell is being merged into the skill of Protect, which means a white mage might get a new trait at 16 instead of Shell.
Nobody cares.
Maybe.
So item
So a
level...
Scholar can cast Shell. I'd be happy.
Item level ranges and equipment variety will be larger than a Realm Reborn. I think that's really exciting. Item level increases for each patch cycle will be larger than the 20 we are
20
currently
is already
accustomed
huge.
to.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea, the new Darklight tier, which is gonna be like the starting gear once
Like
you
level
hit cap,
70 stuff.
170.
That's great.
That's 40 hot. Yeah, wow.
That's
crazy.
well because you've got.
60
Well, that's true. It also said 130 is only gonna last like 55.
Well, you've got 50 to 60. There's going to be eye level ranges inside of that as well.
Well, see, what I was hoping is that it wouldn't be like a brand new player starts, raising, you get to level 50, your AF is level 55, then you hit 51, and all of a sudden you're 130.
But that's what happens
that's level
now.
55, though. That's level 55. Yeah, and that's what happens right now, Mika.
But no, you still have to do the dungeons, you still have to get poetic, you still have to do all that stuff.
Which is
gonna be
kind of a pain in the ass, because the way
the random shit you buy in the market board, like lowest level leveling 51 gear, is still going to be like level 135, so they're going to jump from 55 to 135. And I was hoping that there would be like an eye level range from 50 to 60 that only goes to maybe eye level 70, and you still need to do like other, I don't know.
But just using soldiery can get you to 110, no problem.
Nika Kyanian trying to keep the newbies down.
No, I just think it's going to be, you are going to end up with a whole bunch of people.
I just
that
imagine
hit
Nika
max level
walking
that
through those
all this
new
gear
zones
and don't know how to play.
She's gonna be walking through the new zones with her sword out, and she's like a little Lala with like the sapling icon, and just fucking cuts them down.
Reminding me of what Abyssia did to 11 is you get a whole bunch of people hitting max level, getting all this gear, and then all of a sudden, boom, you don't even know how to play the job. I don't know.
But
you're learning how to play the job when you're leveling up, Nika.
Or you don't, which is how I end up with a monk and a white mage that I don't know how to play at all.
And don't act like that's going to stop people. You have people who actually went through the process of getting this gear and still don't know how to play their fucking jobs.
No, but with the way that points accumulate and just sit there after you've already spent the points on your main job, there's no secondary tier of gear that you can buy with those. You can't be like, hey, this is a great upgrade piece, but this is a good side grade that I can also use soldiery or poetics or whatever the hell
put into my weapon skill macro.
Exactly. Something, you know what I mean? Like there's none of that. And because there's none of that, it's just I think that the eye level system is probably going to be fine. So
it'll work out.
Yeah, it will.
From lowest to highest item level, you're going to have Law Tombstone gear, then enhanced Law Tombstone gear, normal Alexander gear, materia melded gear, and then esoteric gear, and then finally savage Alexander gear.
Cool.
Each dungeon drops unique gear, which is cool. I'm always looking forward to seeing the gear sets that come from dungeons. Cross-class skills are limited to 5 slots. You will not get a 6th at level 60, which means, guys, if I hold out long enough, I might be able to get something other than Blood for Blood and not have to do that last level.
Oh my God. It's 1 level!
Blood for Blood will always be good, though.
Yeah, you'll never get rid of Blood for Blood.
Yeah.
Just because of how terrible cross-class skills are.
Yeah,
But-
it's like the one that's useful.
So if I get Blood for Blood, that means I'm going to have to give up like Second Wind or Keen Flurry or Featherfoot.
Get the fuck out of here.
Second Wind is a fine one to keep. Featherfoot?
No.
New Relic Weapon questline will start in 3.1. Dark Knight, obviously, the new jobs aren't going to get Relic Weapons. Old Relic Weapons, they're going to get new ones. There will be a similar mindset to the Relic Weapon questline in Realm Reborn. The level 50 Zodiac Weapon Saga will be eased at 3.1. And you'll also be able to glamour from previous steps by just buying them from
God damn it!
No, that's just glamours. That's just glamours.
No, you guys, this is so good. This is so great. Juxta has been going back and redoing the ninja relics so that he could have it at every stage for glamour purposes. He's done books multiple times. He's done Atmas multiple times.
God.
He's done lights multiple times just to have the glamour.
Boy, you gotta feel pretty dumb right now, don't you?
Idiots doing idiot things because they're idiots.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now, again, who was the one who was sitting here going, look, I'm not going to farm Alexandrite for my Dark Knight because it's fucking retarded. And who was right? Who was right about all of that shit? That would be a Nero. Again, you're welcome, Eorzea.
Spell speed's being adjusted so that it increases damage of dots and increases pets' attack speed. And they're going to be adding a higher rank in hunts than S rank.
Yes! Double S rank.
What could be higher than S?
Double S.
Well, you can just
P
think
rank.
about, it's SS and SSS.
There's something sounds wrong about SS rank. Just saying.
I want XXX rank.
It's a little Third Reichy. I mean, like, can we just Square Enix?
No, when we were FF7 Chocobo ranks had double S and things like that. That's a thing.
Wait, what?
But
FF7? No, it just had S rank.
Oh, I thought it had double S.
No, you started like
Something
D,
had
you went
double
up to
S.
A, and then it was just S. You think was it hunts from FF12 maybe?
I don't remember.
Guys,
Something had double S.
nobody cares about
We
S
have so
rank.
much more outline.
New looting system. Pre-made parties
Stop talking
only.
about
Loot
your
master.
Nazi
auction.
stuff.
All greed. Ooh, auction. Players can
I'm
bid
so
on
excited
drops
about
of
I like
bill.
these players are unable to roll need on.
This is so good.
What?
The auction one,
What is it?
players bid on drops with Gil. So if you
And the
want it,
highest
you
bid
buy it.
Okay, if the gill is then spread amongst the party.
Oh, well, of course.
Okay. I was gonna
Actually,
say.
no. You know what that does help a lot with? People who buy runs now and they buy specific drops.
Right.
A lot of times, and I'm talking like I would say a good 35% of the time, they'll get ripped off or they won't get the item they need, and the party leader is just completely like they won't give a refund. They're not responsible. They don't hold themselves responsible for it.
Right.
This is a way. This actually protects players who want to buy.
I know. I
items
love
with guild.
this.
That's I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, I love
No,
it.
I think it's a great idea.
actually,
it's really
It
good.
doesn't say where the guild goes, though. Does it go to the server or does it go to the
doesn't.
player?
No, it goes to the
I was
player.
gonna say,
It doesn't say. I don't think it says.
I think
Because if someone has a shit ton of gil and wants to spend 10 mil on this item, did every other player get $1.5 million?
I would hope it goes to the other people.
Yeah, I assume.
Because in WoW, you used to do this. You would actually join runs, and there would be one person. And again, you would have to unfortunately trust that they were going to give it to people. But people would bid on stuff, pay the gold, get the drop, and then at the end of the run, it gets split up between everybody in the run.
Yeah.
This is why I'm hoping that it does go to the player, because I don't see why it wouldn't. and this like automates it and protects everyone involved.
Everyone,
So,
yep.
so that's why I love this.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, so you're saying it's like I'm selling this run to you, Juxta. Like my 7 people in my static are selling it to you. You buy it and it gets splits the guild among
Right,
all of them.
or even making like pre-made parties just with random strangers and everybody going in together and you buying. So even if you're joining, you're not joining for a drop necessarily. You're joining to make some money.
I hope that they somehow incorporate it into the Party Finder thing because, you know, like if you can just make that very straightforward, I mean, it makes the whole transaction seem a lot less shady.
Yeah.
You know, I think that apart from never having the guild to be able to buy something like that, the whole thing seems, you know, like it always just felt super shady to me.
Yeah, like it's like really, really clunky. So now you have to like trade 7 other people, 150 gil.
Right.
Well, normally you would trade
the
it
leader,
to the leader.
and then the leader.
Yeah, it's like
Usually the leader will split it up afterwards.
Okay, well there you go. But still, I mean, I feel like this is just good because now people who complain they don't have a way to farm gil join a farming party.
There you go. Changes to Duty Roulette. Levels 1 through 49 and 51 through 59 will all be considered low-level roulettes. Level 50 dungeons will make up hard roulettes, and level 60 dungeons will make up expert roulettes. So this way,
you know what? I got to take issue here with Cast, who says in the chat, the people who sell content don't sell for specific item. We sell the chance to get that item. This system actually circumvents that, and I think that it's a really shitty practice. And let me explain why. Because the only thing that I want to pay for if I'm paying for a clear is to get the clear for the content. That's it. That's why I would never consider paying for an item. Because that's a fucking ripoff. Like, okay, yeah, we're going to drag you through the content, and if your item drops, then you can roll on.
There are people.
There are people there. I mean, there are some people even go so far as to say, well, you have the privilege to roll on it. You get to buy into the privilege of rolling on the gear. Fuck that. Fuck that.
At least when I used to
fuck that.
It was like you'd pay a base for the clear, and then you'd pay like 2 more guild to get everything that drops. I've never seen like
there you go
chance of.
I was going to say,
dropping.
there are.
Like, it was usually like when we used to do T9s, it was like 3 mil for the clear, 5 mil for the clear, and all the drops.
Yeah, so
and that's a little bit more straightforward.
Right, and there are people who, if it doesn't drop, they don't take money. That's a chance they take because our beneficiary has recently got all of the horse mounts.
But I think that's dumb, and I would never participate in something like that.
But she didn't pay for the chance.
Right,
she went in, and when it dropped,
then you pay.
She paid them, and she got them.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
so that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're a player that can hold your own weight in the instance. There's if you're going for a specific drop, then you should be paying for the drop. I mean, like obviously, this is stuff that has to be worked out between groups, and something like this, a system like this, completely cements it in stone, makes it very clear what the transaction is actually for. So I think that's all for the better.
Yep.
But speaking of Duty Roulette, though, like they're going to have every single dungeon for 1 to 59 in low level. I think that's extremely massive.
Not all. They won't have what's considered level cap
dungeons.
right now. Won't be in there. Yeah,
that's going to be the hard.
But like
dungeons.
51 to 59 are not low level. That's what I don't.
It's based on
low level at 60.
Think of low level roulettes as level up dungeon roulettes. These are the dungeons that people are in as they're leveling.
Right, but so I'm going to be level 58 and I want to queue up for a low level, but I end up getting a level 12 dungeon. Fuck that. I want the high one.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point.
You only have to do that, but the only reason to do a random one is to get that bonus XP, which does scale with you at the end of the dungeon.
That's true.
At that point, you would make a party or you would queue for a specific one.
But
you can't make a party for low level roulette.
Then you just queue for a specific one. Wait, can't you go to the actual like dungeon entrance and enter in that way with a pre-made party?
Well, but you could go through Duty Finder with a pre-made
party. Use the low level roulette.
But here's the thing. Yes, you are going for that bonus. Yes, that bonus does scale. Here's the problem: is that if you're in your mid 50s and you get scaled to a 12 dungeon, you're not getting XP for pretty much any of those mobs. And if you do, it's fucking negligible.
Right, but you're only doing that once a day anyhow.
You're only doing that for like the third of a level that you
Then-
get.
then I'll tell you. Then I'll tell.
You get, and then you're going to get in with all the new players. It's going to take. It's a waste of time.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what.
Nika hates noobs.
No. I'll tell you what the real effect of that is that I'll stop queuing for low level completely.
Yeah, I haven't queued for low level even while leveling my jobs. I hated it so much, and I don't hate noobs. I hate wasting my time.
Yeah. No, I'm with.
Then just queue for the level appropriate ones,
which I normally do. That's
okay
pretty much.
I think I think that's a good point. Like having a 2-tiered low level system where there's
then you're splitting the player base way too much.
Yeah.
No, I
way
think
too
splitting
much.
1 to 30 and then the 31 to 59 would be fine.
You're still splitting it, and imagine how hard it is right now to
That's
get into
only
something.
3 dungeons though. That
something
low.
like Cutter's Cry. Like right now, even when they are all lumped together, now you want to split people in half, you would never get into them.
Then the real effect is that no one is going to queue for low level roulettes.
And then newbies.
Then
will
this
never
right
level
here
up.
is the lesser of two evils.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's a good solution for the problem. I agree with you that there's a problem. I just think that neither of the solutions that we've proposed here or the one that Square Enix came up with was a very good one.
I think that they should just make it so that instead of making it so that all right, this is a level 10 monster, so it gives this much XP. Whatever your level is, whatever the gap between your level, including if you are scaled down, and what that monster is, should be proportional to how much XP you're getting.
Yeah, no, that was the other point that I was going to make is that if they gave a proportional XP bonus, if you're extremely high level doing an extremely low level, then that would be okay because then the reason to continue doing it would exist.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my time going all the way to the end just for the bonus. If I
Then
got
don't waste your time, Nika.
Well, no, because at that point, in your mid 50s, you are going for the XP. You're not just.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
What's next? Able to challenge content with less than recommended player count. All right, so you will now be able to go into a Realm Reborn content with less than what you're supposed to have.
Yay.
But if you do that, you will not be level synced.
Not level synced, not item synced. So you can go in there and just smash face between
Wait, so I
level
can go to
70,
level 12
170 shit.
dungeons solo.
Yeah, well, you can do that. Well, yeah.
Go into Desmald Darkhold solo and get my fucking Airman card.
I got
that's a
that
good
on my
idea.
first try.
Able to item level sync to low levels if you wish for a challenge. Required for time attack challenges that will be implemented later.
And Limit Break Radio will be doing these challenges for donations. All right.
Obviously, everyone's getting their level 3 limit break animations, and more details we release as we get closer to release. Oh, so we have that to look forward to. They haven't released all of that info yet, have they?
No.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I don't
there's a lot that they haven't totally fleshed out yet. So
Tomestones will continue.
Yay!
Tomestones of Law will have no cap.
Yes.
Esoterics will have a weekly cap.
Esoterics? What a bad name.
Only available 4 weeks after release. Please
Oh
look
my
forward
God.
to it.
Tombstones of Elder Scrolls Online?
No.
what?
I mean, we are going to say
Oh,
ESO.
ESO.
It's going to be
ESO?
ESO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's another one. It's like the Corpus Lowlands.
Boo!
We already know that they're making some adjustments to tank skills up to level 50. The Protect trait merging with blah, 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 blah. Higher level crafted gear in 3.05. New jobs have to be leveled in a Realm Reborn areas. There would be no new level 1 to 49 zones.
Okay, that's fine.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's they don't need them. They honestly don't need them.
There's enough.
I think having a 10 level spread among the 4 or 5 exploratory zones that we get, I think that's totally fine. That's way better than I don't know how many zones a Realm Reborn had. But having the level spread be 1 to 49, I just think that the new zones, they've got a lot of space to work with and not a lot of levels that they have to spread out among that space. And I think it's going to do well for them.
I'm glad they have 2 level 51 zones. Well, no, because there's going to be splitting the player base in half.
That's true.
So that's
That's
good.
true. Yeah, because or else that entire zone will just be flooded. Yeah.
As long as one of those zones don't suck. Do you remember Cataclysm?
No, actually, it wasn't.
One
Lich
starting
King.
zone was awesome. One starting zone was underwater, was 3 times the size, and was terrible. So nobody went to it.
Yeah.
So new dungeons are being introduced. Dungeons will continue as they did in A Realm Reborn. They are intended for casual players. Some mechanics from raids will be in dungeons, so players get more used to these kind of mechanics and can transition easier into raids.
That's nice.
I guess so. I kind of feel like that's what some of the dungeons do already, though, is that they sort of get you ready for some of the mechanics.
They get you ready for the dodging mechanics, but I don't feel like there's a real dungeon where you've had to deal with tank swapping or like.
Okay, that's a good point.
In a
well, you can't.
You can't because it's.
Get out! You are so bad at casual content.
That's a good point.
But I mean,
to
things
be
that,
fair,
like hard hitter tank moves where if you haven't
like a tank crunch or something,
that kind of stuff.
But
or like stacks where if you don't do something in a certain time, you get too many stacks, it instant kills you.
No,
there's not too many of that in dungeons.
They're fixing that with Ninja. Me and Juxta will help the white mage and the tanks learn to swap. I promise.
Okay, just put the enmity on the healer tank.
Poor healers.
So there's going to be 8 new dungeons in Heavensward. A bunch of them don't have names yet, but Dusk Vigil that we've seen a bunch of, found in the north of Korthos, Western Highlands. That's going to be pretty cool. Library of Illusions that if you go back to our episode, what was that? Episode 14, where we talked to Ethis. We talked a lot about the library and what could possibly be in there, which has bosses including a demon book, which seems really cool. Demon Wall as a book. That's going to be level 56, and the demon book does have one-hit KO mechanics.
They really need to up their game because that last 4-wall demon wall fight, no, get out.
That was really bad.
Still sad about that.
They said there was going to be 4 times as hard.
Not
Fuck
even.
you.
Not even.
Let me ask you this: how many times have until you overpowered it, did you actually complete it before it killed you? Because the only thing that made it laughable was that if you died, you started at the same place with the full time.
Actually,
allowed.
I've only died to that once, and it was like very recently with that group.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
From
It made
the
me
beginning,
sad.
I never wiped.
It made me very sad.
I've mostly always wiped on like the very last mobs.
Yeah.
But then you go in and you have like the full 2 minutes to kill 2 mobs.
Yeah.
Or 1.
Yeah. And also someplace called Anor Londo. And there's other places listed like Twister's Island.
And Purple.
And Purple. Don't forget Purple. But that's there's going to be a whole bunch of new dungeons that you can look forward to. And then, of course, we get to our raid Alexander. Nika, why don't you talk about this?
Sure. It's going to be in a similar vein of the Coil of Bahamut, but you do not have to complete Final Coil in order to do Alexander. There will be normal and savage modes, which to that extent we still don't know exactly the difficulty difference, but still a little butthurt. There will be 4 bosses, I'm assuming in tier mode like normal. Normal mode is equivalent of a story mode, easier than current coils, beatable in a day or 2. I think they did say he expects people to have cleared normal Alexander within a few days of release. It opens 2 weeks after the release, so you have 2 weeks to level up, then go at it. Will not be able to one-shot it. It has a 1-item weekly lockout similar to Crystal Tower. Okay, that's interesting. Each turn has its own loot lockout. Savage mode is harder than the Coils of Bahamut, as hard as, quote, Final Coil Savage mode. It opens 2 weeks after the normal mode, which is what I'll be doing on my birthday. Tokens similar to Primals, but not exactly the same. More information we'll be giving in a live letter before the unlock. Alexander gear from Story and Savage look the same, except the Savage mode gear can be dyed, and I'm assuming is going to be better, higher eye level. So it'll be higher eye level, higher stats, and also can be dyed.
That's shocking. They've never done that before with gear, ever.
Well, usually it's like once you uncurse it or whatever, then you can dye it. But a giant primal summoned by the goblins fought by going inside Alexander and fighting part by part. And it will be in the Dravanian hinterlands.
So, I don't know. That should be fun. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they tie it into the goblins.
And I'm also curious going forward if you can just do the normal mode of Alexander and stop and wait for the next tiers and just do normal, or if you have to clear Savage before you can move on to the next. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's interesting that each turn will have its own loot lockout, so you'll be able to get 4 pieces of loot from Story Alexander per week.
Yeah,
which is feel like you're gonna gear up really
so that
fast.
means that you can like redo the first one over and over and over until you get one item.
Yeah, it says.
So like if you're with a static, you just do it, 3 or 4 times and everyone gets a piece.
I don't think you're gonna need a static for normal mode.
Well, most people have one. I mean, if you still have your static from Final Coil, you'll probably be doing it with your
I
static.
just don't think you're going to need it. I think that normal mode is going to be such a...
Tower.
Yeah, you're just going to be such a face roll that it's really only going to be Savage that, like, I kind of feel like when they finally put it out, people are going to they're going to chew through that normal mode Alexander so fast.
Day one clear.
Yeah.
True, but they did say that the normal mode Alexander gear will definitely be beneficial to you in doing the final, like the Savage Alexander. So there will be, you are going to probably spam until you get gear for your main.
You're going to gear up so quick, though.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Every week, 4 pieces of gear.
But I did they say whether that applies to the Savage mode or not? Because if it's just normal mode, I can see that because
I think it's just normal mode.
That makes sense because
normal,
the way that they placed they just had the progression of what the gear is going to be.
Yeah, they said they will be doing a live letter before that drops to let us know. So.
Yeah. Somewhere in here we just went over it where they went through and like listed like kind of the order. So yeah, here we go. Law Tombstone gear will be the 170, the base. And then enhanced Law Tombstone, which you'll probably do through, like we do with the current gear. And then normal Alexander gear, and then materia melded gear. So I mean, it's like if that's the method of progression there, and of course dungeon gear nowhere in there in that list because it's all gonna be glamour gear.
Yeah, remember, materia melded gear is stuff you buy off the auction house.
Right, and normal Alexander gear comes before esoteric gear, which is your weak lockout gear.
Right,
that's your weak point lockout gear.
Isn't the esoteric gear going to be equal to the Savage Coil gear? I mean, it is right now. I don't.
I mean, yes and no. It's
if they put in something like sands and oils and stuff, which I assume they would, then probably.
But you see where they placed it though on that list. Like it seems like a 4-piece weekly lockout. Like that makes a little bit of sense.
I guess.
All it means is we're going to be able to get our glamour really quickly.
Well, but they didn't say are there going to be lockouts on how many times you can you can clear the turn in a week.
Yeah, they didn't say that. But
see, that's the other way that they limit it.
But since they said that each turn has its own lockout, I'm assuming that it's not like once you cleared the turn, you're locked out like it was with Coil. Because otherwise,
why not?
Because then you don't need to state that something has a loot lockout because you can't enter it again once you've cleared it. So who cares?
Similar to Crystal Tower.
So I'm assuming that means it would be more like Crystal Tower, whereas you could clear it until you get loot and then you have the lockout.
Okay, all right.
And you could still help your friends if you wanted.
But it's still 1 piece per turn, and that's just 4 turns. So that's 4 pieces conceptually. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
I guess it just depends on how big the gear item level jump is. So.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it also says how much you want to spam one turn until you get your main piece, or if you want to take one for your secondary.
Yeah,
and whatever
let's be real. When Crystal Tower first came out, I ran 50 times one week trying to get the fucking Black Mage pants.
I remember that.
Fuck that shit.
But actually, Nika, you bring up a really good point. Is that most people in this who play this game have multiple classes leveled and take multiple pieces of gear and can use multiple pieces of gear. So if there's a way that you can gear out multiple jobs,
that's actually a good point.
And this does sound like you'll be able to gear them out because I mean, just like before, you'll spend your esoterics on your main job.
Exactly.
Maybe, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And then, like Crystal Tower, I've never ran as Paladin ever. Because that gear was, was pointless for me. I would use that for Black Mage.
And that's something too that we've mentioned before is it takes so long. All right, I mean, Nika aside because she does her whole rating thing. But if you're just a normal player, like a casual player, and you're just getting, in this case, esoterics to gear out your main class, by the time you get to a point where you want to gear out a second one, you're
like 2 months away,
I'm done with esoteric gear now. I don't want to worry about capping every single fucking week at this point.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you just do your expert every week, you cap anyway, and like
you mean every
doing
day?
Coil, and if you do Coil, even just doing the 4, like back when there was a lockout, doing each turn of Coil and doing not even every expert, but most experts, you capped easily. I never had to worry about capping. I just did cap. So then I started gearing other things out.
Nika.
Wasn't even a thought. What?
Okay. What I find most interesting, though, is that it's the goblins that are summoning Alexander.
Yeah, that
like,
is.
does anybody else find that kind of weird? Like, of all the avatars or the primals that the goblins are going to summon, it's like Avatar.
Again,
Alexander.
Again, it's Avatar. Yeah. I'm going to take this moment to plug a video that Ethis Asher did on the reasons he thinks that the goblins would be involved.
Yeah, and I don't doubt that
great video
within FF14's lore, that there are legitimate reasons. But like when you think of Alexander and previous Final Fantasies, like it's like really the goblins?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like Alexander's this big holy castle type being, and then goblins.
Goblins are like shinies.
Yeah,
Clink, clink.
right.
Oh, that's Kikrin.
Yeah, that is Kikrin.
They still talk about shinies.
So primals. Well, we've got the beast tribes. There's going to be dailies, of course, with for the Vanu in the map.
In 3.05 or 3.1. Please look forward to it.
And so there's also going to be primals. Bismarck, the primal of the Vanus. That's going to be an airship battle. May be able to fall off like Titan. And then for Ravana, we got some cool pictures of Ravana.
Wait, they don't let us dismount in the air, but they'll let us fall off an airship in the air?
Get good, Nika.
I hope they let us fall for a really, really, really long time.
This is my favorite part. Primals are going to drop tokens. You get enough tokens, you get your weapons. So I don't have to see 75 goddamn scholar books. And then the one time I see a weapon that I can actually use on one of my jobs, not even one that I want, just one that I can finally maybe use, and fucking Davey takes.
No, I think I think this is good. I don't think that gear token systems are the best for every piece of endgame content, but specifically for primal fights, this is brilliant. Great job. Great addition.
Good call, Squee.
Like I did like the weekly where you would do Garuda, Titan, Ifrit every week, and if you did all three, then you got a weapon.
See, 100%. But I hated
that. Was cool.
I hated that. It was such a getting my first
essentially
weapon.
The same thing. You have to do the primals over and over to get tokens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I
ended up with like every single weapon by the end of that.
I hated it. Hated it.
Did you hate it?
I did.
He hated it, man.
I did.
Well, that's so interesting. Let's move on.
We can just skip the disciples of the hand and land, right?
Yeah, nobody cares about that bullshit.
Or at least bottom line them.
Just go. Nika,
you
go.
60.
Okay. The crafting skills, land and hand, both get tome-like abilities, which I think is the biggest, tome-like things, which is the biggest thing that they are adding. Blue scripts and red scripts. Red scripts are like the low-level, no cap, and blue scripts have weekly cap. So you get them by finding like hidden gathering spots and thingy-majiggers, and you get other things by
all right, so are we done?
Free
company now?
So,
What?
You know how we make jokes about crafting being its own endgame? They're literally turning crafting into its own endgame.
Yeah, it's going to be its own little system with its own little community of people farming these special little areas for the tomes. So I don't know exactly how it's going to end up, but I think it sounds interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they had to do something
with the scripts. You can get like special abilities with the scripts, and that's really all we know.
They had to do something with it. All right, so cool. All you crafters and gatherers, look forward to that. So there's the Free Company airship workshops. We've seen a lot about this. We know a lot about the airship crafting. You're going to be able to send airships on voyages for rare items, items to improve company crafts, jackpot items, which we don't really know what that are, shards and crystals, and crafting materials are all stuff that will be able to be brought back.
Assuming jackpot items means big ticket thing.
Items required to craft new recipes at the blueprint stand include rare materials and exclusive voyages. And that's sort of what makes me think that it's somehow tied to unlocking access to some kind of content. I at least I think that would be smart. It would be a way to make sure that people are involved with free companies and they stay involved with free companies, because right now it's just there's no need to have them bigger than 8 people. There will be able to create 4 airships upon release. Yay. Let's see. Ethereal Wheel will receive new actions.
Only obtained through the Ethereal Wheel. They really want us to use that thing, guys.
I guess so.
Yeah.
There's going to be new house crafting, and you're going to be able to craft new housing features. For PvP, there's going to be a new Frontlines map.
Chucks, we have to get on that at release. We can't be left behind again. Like now, if you try to do PvP, if you try to do PvP stuff, like if you want to get max rank to put on all the glamour the stuff and whatnot, good luck. Like, nobody does it anymore.
There's it's going to be open 4 weeks after release, so you guys can work up your Dark Knights and stuff.
I'll be doing Alexander Savage, and you guys can be doing that.
Yeah, there's a whole new rule set, new PvP gear, higher PvP rank, and some Wolves Den updates that are coming in 3.1 and 3.2, where matchmaking based on points and rating and seasonal-based ranking that resets every major patch. So if you're big into PvP, that's going to be really cool.
Hopefully that keeps people doing it beyond getting max rank then.
Yeah, because that's really the thing, is that people would hit max rank or get all the items that they wanted, and then they're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still hold it that if I could make a party of 4 and guarantee to fight my friend's party of 4, then I would do it more often.
Oh my god.
I feel like the only time...
You can guarantee that!
Yeah, you can guarantee it if you press the Dutch button, but what if someone else does it too?
We're moving past that.
No.
Okay,
nobody else does it too.
We have a caller, Hacks, etc. of Excalibur, and he wants to quickly talk about endgame rating, healer, DPS.
Hey, what's up, Hacks, etc.? How's it going?
What's going on, Limit Break Radio?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. So I know you guys already talked about Alex Savage and everything, and I was looking up some stuff, and they were talking about Final Coil Bahamut and how healer DPS was incorporated into it and how they weren't anticipating it. So I was wondering how you guys felt about healer DPS in Alexander Savage and how they're going to go about that, and what you guys think that healers should do for Alex Savage. Go ahead.
Personally, I think that healers should just do what they're designed to do and just stay in the healer kitchen and throw us heals.
I'm gonna
Make me a healing sandwich.
Okay, I'm going to say
Making me a healing sandwich with extra regen and a side of shield.
Okay. If healers were not meant to provide any kind of DPS in this game, they would not be provided with DPS skills. I'm gonna
wrong, because how do you level them? How do you level then if you can't do damage?
Yeah, no, that's legit. Yeah,
You level in a party.
No, there is
whoa,
no. Hang on.
Dungeon.
You can't even do that till level 15. What about all the
Nika.
Fairbear's in here. Tell us how you would have killed your duty the other day if you didn't have any. If you only had healing spells, how would you have finished that duty? Were you going to rely on the Scions of the Seventh Dawn?
Or, I don't know, were you going to beat on it with your club? What the fuck were you going to
do?
Okay, Nika.
And White Mage a good team. Like, one
many
covers healing, one can cover DPS.
How many LS members did you help with their relic quest for your healers? How many times did you help them? Kill a bunch of mobs.
That has nothing to do with it.
Well, how are they going to do their relic quest?
No, wait.
How are they going to kill all those mobs?
Okay. Nika bashing aside, back to the question.
No, the thing is that I think healers provide a very significant ability to do so, which is why I think having 2 healers in a party and having very different healers works, because they have their own abilities, whereas White Mage is usually focusing on the team heals. When that's going on, Scholars are more easily able to stance and DPS like that, and I think that they should, especially if you know which is sort of good and sort of bad about how the fights are very formulaic and we kind of memorize them, but once you know what's coming, you know which parts are less healing intensive, and henceforth can switch stances and DPS before switch back into healing. There's plenty of times in Final Coil, even in T13, where our White Mage solo heals so that the Scholar can throw out a ton of DPS and then switch back. It's really nice.
My thing is coming from WoW and Final Fantasy XI and all these other MMOs, where if you're a healer, you are healing, and that is your job. That's all you do.
That's all you ever get to do.
Not necessarily. There are some points here and there where if you have a chance, and granted, this isn't an across-the-board thing. We're not saying that if you're a healer, you should try and DPS, because that's what you see a lot of time, is parties will die because the healer was trying to DPS, and the healers will have some excuse.
Well, that's a bad healer.
Exactly.
It depends on the situation.
It does depend on the situation, but if you are in a good place healing, and you do have a 30-second window where you can throw out some extra damage, why not?
You definitely should, because Final Fantasy allows healers to do damage in combat, and other MMOs don't let you do that.
Really?
And World of Warcraft, no. I mean, you could pretend to do some damage, but if you're spec'd for healing, you don't have the same
smite.
Well, I'm saying, it's like it's the equivalent of like auto attack.
Okay,
yeah, well, that's exactly it. Well, that's
what you mean is they actually give healers a somewhat viable.
Yeah, they can actually do comparable damage.
And if we're going to draw the parallel to FF11, I mean, the first 15 levels of White Mage, you get to beat on it with a club and do a weapon skill. That's it. That's your only forms of damage. You don't get a ton of offensive.
Well, you get
spells.
Banish.
Oh, well, you get Banish,
and it does like
and
10
Dia
damage.
and Dia. Let's not forget Dia.
I'm not saying, like, run into a raid the very first time you've ever done it and just DPS as a healer. Obviously not.
Right, but there are some people out there who think you can.
Right, yeah. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that healers should focus on DPS and not healing. We're saying healers should definitely focus on healing, but once you've learned the fight and you understand where you have opportunities, you should definitely take advantage of that situation and do it, whether it's Alexander, Crystal Tower, or trash mobs. Whatever.
Yeah, no,
Tower and trash mobs. Okay, Nika.
Well,
Dude,
only if you
and
really
trash mobs, I never have to heal. I let my fairy do it. I DPS the whole way.
only if you feel like it. Like if that's what you feel like
If
doing.
you're a scholar and you're in a low level dungeon that's like before like Decimal Darkhold, then you're a DPS and your fairy is the healer.
Or you're a forum reader and your fairy's the healer.
Yeah, that too. See, that's the other thing. I don't like the other side of that when I'm leveling a healer and the tank is going, why is the healer not doing DPS? And I'm like, I'm like watching YouTube videos and like just making sure that you don't die. And that's what I want to do right now.
Fair enough, but when you think about like how quickly like people have done this dungeon a million times, I'm just doing it to like get through this thing for this quest. Like maybe it's my millionth relic, I just want to get through it.
Yeah.
And there's the healer who could make it go faster but chooses not to because they're watching YouTube. That's why
that's their prerogative. They're filling their role. If they want to help, that's on them. If they don't want to, that's on them.
That's their $12 a month, Nika.
And you don't pay for it.
And I guess true, I care more about that stuff. And I think he asked in terms of Alexander, and I think in terms of final coil and like end game raids, healer DPS is more important than in something like a low level dungeon. But because it's all about maximizing your DPS once you get to end game and finding the best way to push phases and skip mechanics and things like that. And sometimes the healer can be the push over the top. So
that was something that I was going to add. Yeah, when you're at a point where your raid group is wiping at 1 or 2%, if your healers haven't been putting in, and they do over that entire fight, that's going to make up that 1 or 2%. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Astro Logan that's going to be, I don't think they're going to be able to pull Scholar damage or even White Mage damage based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
But they're going to be able to pull more damage through their buffs. So
and they're so versatile healing-wise, too.
I feel like Astro Logan is either going to be so great that they're overpowered or so bad because Essie is scared of them and they'll be very nerfed. So it's one or the other.
You're right. You're right. I could say, I mean, it would be really impressive if they get it, if they get the balance right out of the gate. There's no way. I mean, there's no way. It's never happened.
No way.
It's just, I mean, it just seems
like... Do we still have a caller on the line?
Yeah, hacks, etc. What's your feelings on it?
Well, the big thing that a lot of people are on different sides on is healer accuracy. As far as scholars and world progression, I'm part of a world progression group myself. Capping accuracy and being able to do DPS, and that's being the difference between being world first, world second, world third by a couple seconds, minutes, or hours.
Sure.
Wow. And if you look at some of the notes and some of the stuff that they've released, they're actually going to incorporate healer DPS into this raid. So if you're not DPSing as a healer, you're going to get punished for it pretty much. And it's going to take you longer.
Into Savage, I would assume, right?
Yeah, into Savage, because this is the first one's Crystal Tower.
Let's just be honest.
Call it what it is.
Yeah.
But
now see, that's kind of go ahead.
The people that don't think that healer DPS is important in endgame are going to be shocked when they're taking a couple months more than they're used to finish this raid, because they have to have the DPS overgeared to compensate for them.
See, now and I think that's a good point. If you are a career healer, if that's what you want to do inside the party, then it's really important that you know how to do healer DPS. Like, I would say that that's a critical aspect of the job that you know at least how to do if you are called upon to do so.
And
I am not a career healer. I don't give a shit.
No.
I don't give a shit when I'm on healer. If everyone's alive at the end of when mobs are done fighting,
It's a win.
it's a win in my book. Okay, so like I
turned out better than expected.
totally get where you're coming from. Where it's an important aspect for people who play healers seriously to know how to do.
And that's kind of worrying if they're going to have Alex Savage require healers to do damage, because there's a lot of healers who say, I'm a healer, I don't do damage ever.
I've run across that.
And
Yeah.
when people act like that, you have to think like Final Fantasy MMOs are very different than other MMOs in a lot of aspects. And especially in this one, they allow and recommend healers to add a little bit of DPS. And I feel like you're not playing the game to its fullest if you're not embracing the mechanics. You're
Think of
stuck
it
in the
this
whole
way.
the old mechanic. I mean, if you want a healer MMO, then go find an MMO that is run that way. This one isn't made that way.
Okay,
Think
all
of
right.
it
Let's
this way: when a DPS does buffs, he's not doing damage, right? He's helping out in a different way. So a healer who's adding a little bit of damage, it's the same thing.
Well, remember when Juxta used to like to claim 10% of all the DPS's
Oh, I
damage?
still do that.
Yeah.
It's mine. It's still mine.
It's like that.
Trick attack damage?
It's exactly-
Oh, no, that's totally our
That is
damage. That is our damage.
It would not exist without the ninja.
That's right.
So, but I actually think that this kind of springboards into a larger discussion that we've kind of been having over the entire show. And that is, like, I sort of feel like in a lot of ways, jobs in FF14 are being made very samey, and like there's a homogenization. There's a just like all DPS jobs are number crunchers, except for some certain jobs who can buff the party, or like in FF11 you had jobs that were very specific, tailored for one role. And while that wasn't necessarily the best game design, I think you had way more option and way more ability to experiment in FF11.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in FF14, there's like, you have your ideal build, and if you're not doing ideal DPS, if you're not doing your ideal rotation, and you're not crunching your numbers hard enough, then that means you suck and you need to get good. And like, I wish that there was a little bit more wiggle room for experimentation and to encourage players to try something that's a little bit off the beaten path. The problem is there's not much off the beaten path. So much of this game is on rails, no matter if it's the job design or if it's the quest design. So much of it is a guided experience through the whole thing that if you're like Kahlo and you just don't want to get blood for blood, well then guess what? You're a shitty DPS.
Guys,
I think the worst.
I just want to interject one note right there. I could totally get it, and I actually want blood for blood, but it's gotten to the point now I'm doing it out of spite.
yeah, whatever.
Okay,
hold on.
What do you like?
Don't engage. Nika, don't engage. Don't engage.
I think a big problem with that was that there was oh fuck, where was I going with this? Okay, the problem was the game's jobs was set up where you had two tanks, so you had a paladin, a warrior, you had two healers, a scholar, white mage,
right.
And then you had a bard because you needed the buff. You had a black mage or a summoner for the AoE if you needed it, and then you have the rest was filled up with melee. That was the job setup because there were no other choices. But now that we have a third tank, a third healer, a second range DPS, now you're gonna actually have somewhat of more choices when you're coming up with job composition.
No, I think you're right, but I'm only seeing that being expressed within the 3 new jobs. I'm not seeing that being expressed in the way that they're expanding the existing jobs. I sort of feel like the way that they're adding to the existing jobs, they're adding more of the they're trying to just amalgamate them more, right? Like, whereas with the 3 new jobs, well, you've got your DPS that also has some buffing capabilities, and you've got your healer that also has some buffing capabilities. So it's like they're taking specific roles in FF11, like where you had like Bard, and how that operated in FF11 as just a pure buff machine, and they're just spacing it out among multiple jobs.
I feel like the Astro Logan is like the most different out of all 3 of the new jobs, because I mean Dark Knight is a tank, and it's
Right.
has tanking things, and then Machinist is just like another bard, whereas Astrologian is actually like changing the way like a healer would operate with the buff systems.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the call. We really appreciate it. We got to move on. Just to kind of bottom line the last little stuff here. There's going to be practice mode for raids, not in 3.0, but they're going to be introducing a practice mode. That's a good thing. We've been waiting for that for a while. There's a lot of little UI adjustments, updates to challenge log,
Higher level materia.
at least 20
New triad cards.
Yeah, at least 20
Nobody
new triad
cares.
cards.
Chocobo rank up.
Chocobo ranking.
Oh my god. New emote. Brofist.
Yes.
Yes, there's a Brofist emote.
Yes.
You guys are the worst. And
So awesome.
and coming is the European data center. So add-ons are on the back burner for now. That might be coming somewhere down the line in Heavensward, excuse me. But let's Juxta, why don't you queue up one more caller if we've got one, and we'll go ahead and move right into emails. Let's have Kala. Why don't you take our first email here?
Sure thing. I've been listening to LBR for a while now, and so far all I've heard was the most of you play either DPS or tank. Does anyone play a healer? I'd also like to thank you for such a great show and congratulate you on your success. You not only make a show about FF14 entertaining, but you also keep people informed. I'd like to do a shout out to my free company, Sultana's Sandsworn. On the Mateus server, I've been with them for almost a year, and although many have come and gone, including your namesake, the few that have stayed have become close friends. Lots and lots of love to the Helby Army. Sully Scarab song from the Mateus server.
That was a bit below the belt. Oh,
sorry guys. Much love. Actually, yes, people do play healers. Nero has leveled a healer. And
I think in terms of when the four of us run raids, me and Juxta will alternate between healing.
Pretty much.
None of us main as a healer, but I do make sure I gear it out and play it regularly enough that I know how to.
Although once me and Kylo get our entity tools, not playing a healer ever again.
And I don't think Nika's ever going to want to play a healer ever again.
Nope.
Well, I don't know if I'd want to play tank if he's going to steal my enmity either.
Nero doesn't have a choice.
Yeah,
that's all he has.
He's a Dark Knight, so you get to turn into the stick. So it's gonna be a game. How many times can you kill Nika?
I was gonna say she doesn't have to be on White Mage for us to get her killed. Oh man, reset days just became a lot more fun.
Great. Hey,
and then we can bro fist after.
Yes, bro fist after every kill.
Fuck yeah.
Gosh.
All right, taking a look at our next email. Hey guys, Square Enix and Sony. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, that.
Whoa!
No, that issue got resolved. Never mind. Sorry, that was an issue about the pre-order on the PS4, and it got resolved this past week. So we're good on that one. So, hey, Limit Break Radio crew, I recently learned something truly odd in FF14, and I figure I would share/hear your opinion on the subject. Apparently, every character has a unique ID code tied to them, meaning that even if you change your name of that character, the ID code remains the same. Thus, if you are on someone's blacklist for whatever reason, and you are permanently blacklisted regardless of if you change your name or not. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I had a friend who lost her account, and that account was used to spam guild tells and shouts. Gross. Partly her fault back after 2 months, but apparently a lot of people had... she got her account back after 2 months, but apparently a lot of people had blacklisted her because of what had happened. So she decided to change her name in hopes that that would remedy it. Unfortunately, this did not do anything because of what I mentioned earlier. She was really upset to lose all of her hard work on her character, but she decided to make a new character just to bypass having half the server blacklist her. I can understand why Square Enix does this to some extent. It may even be good for tracking bad people down, but I do not understand why some people like my friend have to deal with something like this. And they did not sign their letter, but thank you very much for sending that in. Obviously, a pretty serious issue for your friend there. That's kind of a tough one. I I can see in instances where, you know, somebody gets access to your account and they do some stuff on there, and you know, either you get banned or blacklisted. I mean, man, that's a tough situation. What do you guys think?
Nutter's gonna nut.
That is not an answer.
Spammer's gonna spam.
That's not an answer.
I do feel like this is such a rare instance, though, that like making something change completely for that one random instance isn't worth. I mean,
Right.
it sucks, but I don't think it's worth their time to worry about something
That
like
whole
that.
ID code thing is probably something. I mean, it's obviously inherent to the way that the game is coded.
Right.
Most importantly,
11
though,
was that way, too.
Most importantly, though, I want to know what my ID number is.
I know in 11, there's a way to. I mean, at least in 11's files, there was always a way to see it, because when I would transfer my macros from one computer to another, I would just find my ID numbers folder and just transfer it, and it would just work. I don't know if 14's is the same way in terms of
but there's nothing that you can do to change that. I mean,
no, you
like,
can't.
I mean,
So,
realistic.
really, that's just part of the downside of unfortunately getting hacked.
Well, realistically, I think the real answer would be to transfer servers. I mean, as little as somebody would want to hear that.
I wonder if transferring, because if you transfer servers,
You keep your
become,
ID.
Oh,
well, you keep your ID, but that's a whole new set of people that don't have them.
but
have you on their blacklist.
You would be deleted, quote unquote, on the blacklist, right? Where you show up in parentheses.
You'd be called deleted.
If you then transfer servers back, do you then
come
show
back,
up again?
You're on
That's
the blacklist.
interesting.
You are on the blacklist.
But
interesting.
I check my blacklist a lot, and when I see deleted, I delete them.
Yeah, I take
So
them
then,
off.
if
That's
you're
true,
gone
yeah.
long enough and people delete you, then you can move back. if you care that
I mean,
much.
I don't know.
If it's
man.
at a point, if it's at a point where it's hampering her so bad, maybe she might. consider moving.
It's a tough situation. And
Public
I
service
just think it's
announcement:
rare
don't
enough that it
visit RMT sites, and you should probably check out. Think about getting Square Enix's little token thing, which you can also get on your smartphones. You don't have to buy one.
Yeah. That's some good advice. Who wants to? Okay, so
Juxta should take this next.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll get that one in a second. But we had someone call in with a cell phone, but they hung up on me.
Oh.
So I'm calling them back. Okay, I think you're on. Hey, caller, are you here? Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Who's this?
Hey, this is Safe Fox.
Hey, what's up?
What was it?
Sage Fox?
Safe Fox.
Safe Fox.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, hey. All right, how y'all doing?
Good. What do you want to talk about today?
Nothing much. Just I saw you needed a new caller, so I figured I'd call in.
Wonderful.
Take up some of your time.
Wonderful. What are you looking forward to most on Heavensward?
The flying mounts.
Yeah.
And being able to island hop.
Which
I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Which flying mount are you looking forward to the most?
I actually just any one of them. All of them. I just want to see what kind of mission.
Do you want the Gubu to fly or not?
Basically.
Yeah, that's Nika's got Nika had a great question. Do you want the Gubu to fly or no?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Do you want the Gubu mount to fly or no?
Only if he has wings.
Only if he has wings. He's got to grow
It's going to be
wings.
stupid to see this big giant lug like floating through the
Nika,
sky.
What if he's swimming through the air?
Nika, equal opportunity aerial combat for
shut
everyone, okay? Nika's always trying to keep somebody down.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Sure, yeah, what's that?
Okay, so I've been following you guys since 2008, and we all know that Final Fantasy XIV is pretty much coming to an end in November.
Yeah.
What would it take for you guys to go back to 11?
It's a good question. That's Safe. Thank you very much for your call, and I can answer you. I've already gone back. I've been playing for like a month and a half. And I mean, not just like going back and like bucket listing things. I have been doing that, which by the way, this will shock you guys. I'm rank 3 in Windurst right now.
I've already gotten rank 10 in all of them.
I know. Well, yeah,
me
good.
too.
Good for you. Go humble brag. I had to wait for level 99 in trusts to get it done. But anyway, I've gone back. I finished Wings of the Goddess. I've been doing newer
That does
content.
sound like bucket listing though.
Bucket listing is really fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It is really fun. But I've also been doing new content to try to get some fairly decent gear, like V2 Skirmish, and I've got a link shell that does Vagary. I'm going to give it a try. But
I think he's just making up names for stuff now.
Yeah, right?
It's actually a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun. I streamed a little bit of it a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to try to stream a little bit more before Heavensward comes out. But I'm all on that Dark Knight hype train and getting on the old school in Nero. So
I downloaded Final Fantasy XI.
I caught him mid-download. He was trying to hide it. He was like,
wait. Was he downloading the client, or was he like
he was installing? You were installing, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
It was installing, and I wanted him to look something up. And as he minimized something, it was up, and he tried to like minimize that. And I goes, "What was that? What was that? What are you doing?"
I just look at him sheepishly. I'm like, nothing.
See, I don't think I could see myself going back and doing anything other than bucket listing. So I think once November hits and the final story has come out, I think I will maybe sub.
See, I went in.
I don't think I could do more than 1 or 2 months, finish everything, be the end, and then never touch it again.
I went in with the exact same, I was like, I can't really see myself investing in this kind of material or content. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. And within a week or two, I'm doing skirmishes. So.
All right, so what it would take for me to go back to Final Fantasy would be going to a ski resort with you guys, getting blackout ass drunk in a magical hot tub time machine that sent us back in time, where I had no way to get to the future. And then FF11 comes out. It's like, well, I guess I better play this till 14 comes back around.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because if you gave me a time machine that I had control over, like a DeLorean, I wouldn't just go back to play Final Fantasy XIV. I'd go do other shit. So yeah, it would have to be accidental time travel with no way back.
Oh man.
I was like halfway into like logging in and playing, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta pay for this game. And then I closed it and started playing Hearthstone.
If it goes free to play, I think none of us have an excuse not to at least install it and play it once.
I don't want to play it. That's my excuse. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It is, getting stuck on little pieces of terrain is the worst thing
trying to
ever.
jump
over it.
Nero, how do you take your helmet off?
I don't know anymore. They have this like cheap ass glamour system where you can basically put on a bunch of gear and then tell it to style lock, and so if you change your gear, it keeps it keeps the gear static. Anyway,
that was the best response. I have no idea anymore.
I can't figure out how to turn it off. I don't know how. Oh my god! It's on forever now. I don't know how it works. I would have had to go change jobs to get it to turn off. That's fucking ridiculous. That game is ridiculous. Just like it's still. Can I tell you? I just want to. The fucking 3-mage gate is still a thing. It's
you can
still
get a key item.
No,
to
you
go
can't.
Yes,
no,
you
can't. No, you can't.
You can.
No, you.
I'm almost positive.
It's a Windurst mission quest.
Okay, so you can do it.
You can
just
do
have
it,
to be
but
Windurst. Which is why he's leveling Windurst mission.
You have to get behind the gate first. So you have to at least do it once.
Okay,
so fuck that.
Why didn't you do it back before?
Fuck you.
I have the key item to do it.
Then why don't you one of you two log on and get me past the gate then?
All right, well let's spend some equipment funds or something, and I'll give me a subscription, and we'll see how that works.
That's definitely not happening.
Yeah, about that.
Our next email. Congratulations on still running a fantastic show and on the new equipment. I think the show schedule is a great idea, and I can't wait to see how well it does. On a different subject, I know that Juxtaposition's race change may seem like a bad for the merchandise, but here's the bright side to it. It's true that new shirts, mugs, and other merchandise will need to be made, but now the old stuff is limited edition and popular. As popular as you guys are right now, it will sell out like hotcakes.
Hotcakes!
Keep up the great work.
Just because of Juxtaposition.
Hotcakes. Those sell out pretty darn fast.
No, they don't.
When was the last time any of you bought a hot cake?
Yesterday.
Liar.
You're a liar.
Tennessee people don't count. And that was from Danielle J. from the Goblin.
Yes,
thank you, Danielle J.
Thank you.
Good point made.
Yes, and why don't we go and we're just going to jump to this very last email here on the list. Kahlo, why don't you go ahead and read that?
Sure. Hello, LBR crew. I recently noticed a lot of popular streamers of Twitch have been talking a lot about Final Fantasy XIV lately. One of those popular streamers being Lyric, who consistently has 30 to 40K viewers a day.
Wow.
God damn. He mentioned he will most likely play Final Fantasy XIV due to its popularity, but once he heard that he couldn't do the expansion right at the start, he lost interest. Are you guys worried that the game might lose interest, that people who are potentially going to play the game might lose interest simply because the expansion restriction? Also, if popular streams do come over and stream Final Fantasy XIV during Heavensward, do you think this could possibly be good for the game? Well, as I said earlier, this is the email that I was referencing earlier when we were talking about it. So first of all, they are taking down some of the restrictions on that, not being able to access the expansion right away.
Right.
And the way that it seems it's going to be is by the time you hit level 50 doing main storyline quests, you're going to be ready for the expansion.
Yep.
Well, I think what it is that this guy is somewhere in, I don't know, probably like the mid-level.
You think maybe he's already started playing?
He's probably already started playing, and now he's figured out, oh, well, just, like there's... I want to play Machinist right out of the gate, and I can't do that. Now I'm disinterested in it.
Well, you have plenty of time to get there.
I don't know. See, the thing is I don't know Lyric. I don't know his channel. I don't know. I know nothing about him. So just going based on the email, that's sort of the vibe that I get, is that he's probably not terribly invested in it.
Well, here's something that
it sounds like it's one of those people who's popular in the gaming community, but not necessarily maybe for one particular game.
Yeah. Well, here's what I have to say to Lyric then. Okay, Lyric. 30 to 40K viewers, that could bring a lot of new blood to Final Fantasy XIV. Tons of it. And to answer the second part of the question, absolutely, streaming FF14 is fantastic.
Yeah, anyone.
In just the time that we've started streaming, we've made tons of friends with Samus, with Mr. Happy, with Joe Never, with Nell, with all kinds of people. So the more people that are streaming, absolutely the better.
But I think the concern is that these are people who are coming in not necessarily inside the FF14 community, and that there's a concern that because they're not dedicated to FF14, like in an overall sense, the way that we are, that's somehow different, that somehow detracts from it. I think that's probably the wrong way to think about it.
More numbers, the better.
Is different,
yes.
But I think it's different and not necessarily a bad way. Like whether or not they're so invested, it at least introduces it to 30 or 40,000 people who might not have cared about it at all. So even if this streamer plays it once a month, it at least it gives their fan base something different. Like I'm pretty sure that these streamers probably play things like League of Legends, maybe some more like I don't know, solo games. I don't know, not so much in the MMO atmosphere in the community. So at least doing it introduces people to a different aspect. Like I was watching other streamers. There was like some female streamers. I can't remember her name now. Who I think I was looking at her YouTube, and she mostly does gaming YouTube, then occasionally streams. And she was playing 14, and she was like level 10, 20 in the low-level dungeons, but she had, like 1,000 people watching, and I was like, oh, what game is this? This looks cool. What is it? Let me check it out. And just even seeing that, I think is good.
And that's really you just struck at the heart of it. It's really those people who come in and go, hey, what is this? And they find that they become interested in the game through whatever stream they're watching.
Right. Yeah.
And I think since we mostly just stream 14, you have to search. I'm going to search Final Fantasy 14 to find people streaming Final Fantasy 14.
Right.
But if you already know a really popular streamer who plays something like League of Legends and that's their main niche, and then this person goes, you know what, I'm going to try something else, then all of a sudden they have their fan base who's subscribed to them find this game rather than having to search for the game particularly.
Yeah.
And that could also be great for us, because even if he does do it for one day, right, and a bunch of his, 1,000 of his followers like, oh, that was a cool game, it's a bummer you're not going to play it anymore.
Right.
I wonder if there's anybody else out there who plays it because I want to get interested in it.
Exactly.
Boom, they find us, they find Happy, they find Joe Never.
And not just that, but you guys got to remember this, and this is 100% true of any MMO. Population is the lifeblood of any MMO. You need people playing. People like to get all butthurt like, oh, there's going to be a fresh round of noobs that are coming in.
Damn Good. Xbox players.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe that they let them keep their beta progress.
Without noobs, this game will die off.
Exactly.
That is a fact.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
As butthurt as you want, but we need them.
But yeah, no, I would like to send a message out to Lyric, okay? They're easing the content. Honestly, you're going to need to get to 50 anyway if you aren't already. Once Heavensward comes out, if you just put a little bit of effort into it, you can get there in no time, and it's going to be a trip, man.
It sounds like a lot of work.
I don't want to see the story.
It sounds like a lot of work. But I think really the heart of the question there is, how do we feel about them doing some kind of content restriction lockout for Heavensward? I think it's great. It's awesome. I think that there needs to be more content like that. I still, when I go back to 11, there's still so much content that's locked out by hours and hours and hours of story progression.
People play.
And even if you can dick roll all of the content, okay, it's even in FF11, it still takes a fucking eternity to get through all of this stuff. Like you're sitting there reading everything. FF14 streamlines that so much. It's going to be so fast compared to every other MMO. I really do think that there needs to be more seriously challenging lockout style content.
It's not even like challenging
because that's the
stuff,
carrot.
Though.
That's the carrot.
It's not even challenging stuff that they're locking out. And to preface this, I do agree with locking out because this is the first MMO that I've ever played where the story cohesively continues into the next expansion.
That's
like,
true.
yes, okay, in WoW, there are characters who come back and they reference back to things and stuff, but you're not completely lost going into Mists of Pandaria because you didn't play Wrath of the Lich King.
Right.
Okay? If you just start at Heavensward, you're not going to have some of the same impact. You're not going to know what they reference. And the fact that they're cutting out all of these side quests and all this fluff, and they're doubling the XP, so they're giving you the bare bones, this is what you need to know. As you get to level 50,
sure, yeah.
Then yeah, it's absolutely
I think that's the perfect
fine.
way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, like what I was saying about how people getting like, oh, I just want to play the expansion, but I haven't played the entire game. What the fuck does that even matter? It's a brand new game to you, whether or not you start at 14 or you start at the expansion.
What would you rather do?
And they're going to push you into the expansion anyway, quicker than the rest of us. So you get it all.
Would you rather go through interesting, entertaining, and gut-wrenching storylines level 50, or would you rather spam the same dungeons over and over and over again to level 50?
No, you know what I would rather do? I would rather buy the expansion, pay extra $5, and have my character pre-leveled for me.
Cash shop!
Fucking A. Why did that start becoming a fucking thing?
That's dumb.
If Square Enix, don't ever do that. Don't ever allow people to pay for a pre-leveled character.
I think that this is kind of proof that they won't. That instead they're just going to double the XP, push it through so you don't have to side quest as much, and get you right there like quickly. I think that that's proof that Square Enix isn't going to just let you level your character by paying.
And I think when you take that into account as that's the true other that's the true other side of it, then they picked the right choice in that regard.
I would just like to point out one of our Twitch viewers, Thamriel Wow, says, I dropped WoW for this game and so far I love it. Well, then you better think about changing your name to Thamriel.
All right, and our final email. Hello, short question, very important question. How will Aniro glamour his Dark Knight?
Dark Knight AF, moving on, no one cares.
For a while, yeah, probably.
He'll probably go back to the Odin helm.
Yeah, I might.
Oh my god.
I might just keep. I may just keep this same look out of spite.
What about the Baron Dark Knight Cecil helm?
No, I'm never going to use it.
That's gonna
What?
I'm never going to use it.
Why?
That's so cool.
Because it's too referencey. It's too much of a
in
direct
Final
reference.
Fantasy XIV,
Yes.
the game of reference.
All right, to be fair, at least he's being consistent because whenever they come out with like the cloud glamour or the lightning glamour, he hates it all.
I just want it to be new. I want it to be new to FF14 and to have its own.
I think the throwbacks
not
are
everything
nice
has
for
to.
people though who've been playing all the games since the beginning. And it looks cool. At least it doesn't look stupid.
Cecil fucking sucked.
No,
All right, let's just move on. Let's move on.
What?
We're done. That's going to be it for Limit Break Radio for this week. Thank you guys. And
How long did we run?
And it is nice to say this week because we are going to be back next week, June 14th. Hopefully you'll join us. Just a hair over 2 hours is what it looks like.
It's still light out.
I know.
What is that?
It feels so good. Right? So that's going to do it for Limit Break Radio for this week. Make sure you join us next Sunday at 2 o'clock. That's June 14th here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio, where we will be here every Sunday breaking down the most important Final Fantasy XIV information that you need to know, or just telling dick jokes. It's one or the other. So we hope that you'll join us. LimitBreakRadio.com if you want to subscribe to the podcast. We've got a full archive of podcasts going all the way back to 2013 when we brought the show back for FF14. We are not like other podcasts where we will hide our archive behind a paywall and ask you to fork over money to listen to every old episode. No!
For shame!
You can go back to every single episode we've ever recorded, going back to the very first episode in 2006. Yes, we are on the cusp of 9 years running when we started the show for FF11. That's all at our website, limitbreakradio.com. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. That's facebook.com/limitbreakradio. On Twitter, that's at limitbreakradio. Google Plus and YouTube. That's youtube.com/limitbreakradio. That's going to be it for Limit Break Radio for this week. I want to thank my co-hosts, Nika Kyanian, Juxtaposition, Kalo Landis, and, he's not here, but Ascalia Rayumasa, who's in Colossal Con, having a great time. Hopefully, we want to send a shout out to him. So that's going to do it for Limit Break Radio. I'm Aniro. Keep listening. Limit Break Radio is a production of LimitBreakRadio.com and Bender Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Funding for Limit Break Radio is provided by Miri Kennett, Scry De La Rosa, Zurian Urexin, Satori Komeji, Karkwin Elbar, Garuk Relentless, and fellow Limit Break Radio listeners. To support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/LimitBreakRadio. All music on this show provided by Husky by the Geek. Listen to this and other great Final Fantasy XIV and video game rock covers and original music at facebook.com/HuskyByTheGeek. In-game graphics for Limit Break Radio's Twitch stream are provided by Diamond Multimedia. Check out their line of AMD graphics cards and other hardware at diamondmm.com. Limit Break Radio and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.